Wednesday, May 22nd. It's a new day, everyone. I'm Ria Tanwatco Trillo.
Good morning, I'm Andre Felix, and we keep you company as always until 7:30.
Hey, happy birthday!
Happy birthday, Andre! Sitting in for Christine
Thank you.
Jacobs-Sandejas, I'm Maya Rodriguez. Good morning, everyone.
All right.
Sarap maging 25 years old, ah.
How old?
25.
Talaga?
You
We're in the
don't look
business
it.
of truth-telling
Sige,
here.
totoo na. 31. But thank you. We have a lot in store for you today. Wednesday, May 22, 9 days after the midterm elections.
That's right. It's been 9 days since the elections. Winning senators and party list groups will be proclaimed today. So you remember it was supposed to happen yesterday. It was scheduled to happen yesterday, but the Commission on Elections had to delay it because they wanted to wait for the votes from the U.S. and the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. So a total of 47 million votes were cast for the midterm polls.
And later on, we'll go to our Trisha Terada, who's on standby.
That's right. She's over at the PICC.
That's right. For those stories and a whole lot more, you are watching New Day only here on CNN Philippines. Good morning.
The Commission on Elections set to finally proclaim the winning senatorial candidates and party list groups today. The National Board of Canvassers has wrapped up its official count more than a week after millions of Filipinos cast their ballots in the midterm elections. COMELEC had to postpone the proclamation of the winning senators yesterday as it waited for the transmission of the final certificates of canvass from the U.S. Our Trisha Terada is at the PICC in Pasay City with a look at preparations for the proclamation. Trisha.
Well, Ria, today finally is the big day, at least for those who fought for months and some even years to win a seat in the last 3 years of the Duterte administration. COMELEC will finally announce the winning senators, senatorial bets and the party list bets at 10 this morning. And looking at the results, the final tally, it was a close fight until the end. According to the National Board of Canvassers, they had to wait for the final certificates of canvass before it could actually announce the senatorial race winners. Based again on the official results, re-electionist Cynthia Villar tops the polls at 25.2 million, followed by Grace Poe, Bongo, Pia Cayetano, Bato de la Rosa, Sonny Angara, Lito Lapid, Aimee Marcos, Francis Tolentino, Coco Pimentel, Bong Revilla, and Nancy Binay. Each winner is allowed to bring up to 10 people only during the proclamation. Voter turnout is at 74% or 47.2 million. As originally planned, after the announcement of the new set of senators in the morning, COMELEC will proclaim the winning party list bets at 7 p.m. COMELEC says it's taking the time to compute as to how many nominees per party list will make it to the cut. There are 61 seats up for grabs for party list bets. Ria?
All right, Trisha Terada there reporting from the PICC in Pasay City. You're back with us on CNN Philippines. I'm Ria Tanwatco Trillo.
This is New Day, where the news comes first. I'm Andre Felix.
And I'm Maya Rodriguez. Speaking of news, we still have a lot in store in the next half hour.
That's right. The big news today, of course, the proclamation of the winning senators and party list groups is finally happening today. You will recall it was supposed to be yesterday, but it looks like it will finally happen today because those COCs from the U.S. and Saudi Arabia have already been counted.
The schedule, though, is it going to be 10 a.m. for senators and 7 p.m. for party lists?
I'm not sure about the time for the party list, but when I spoke to Trisha Terada this morning, yeah, it's looking like 10.
10 a.m. Okay. For those stories and a whole lot more, you're still watching New Day, only here on CNN Philippines. Good morning.
The Commission on Elections set to finally proclaim the winning senatorial candidates and party list groups today. The National Board of Canvassers has wrapped up its official count more than a week after millions of Filipinos cast their ballots in the midterm elections. COMELEC had to postpone the proclamation of the winning senators yesterday as it waited for the transmission of the final certificates of canvass from the U.S. Our Rex Remito tells us more.
The final votes are in. Most administration-favored candidates dominated the 2019 senatorial elections. Re-electionist Senator Cynthia Villar topped the 2019 senatorial race with 25.2 million votes. She dislodged former top-notcher and another re-electionist Senator Grace Poe, who received 22 million votes. They are followed by Bongo, Pia Cayetano, Bato de la Rosa, Sonny Angara, Lito Lapid, Amy Marcos, Francis Tolentino, Coco Pimentel, and Bong Revilla at 11th place. Surviving at the 12th and last spot is re-electionist Senator Nancy Binay with 14.5 million votes. She beat Senator J.V. Ejercito by 191,000 votes. Ejercito has only 14.3 million votes. The tallying of final results was delayed as COMELEC waited for the returns from the United States. They waited for more than 11 hours after canvassing the votes from Saudi Arabia Tuesday afternoon. The results were finalized at past 1 in the morning, and the returns from the U.S. didn't seem to affect the results. The proclamation of senators will happen at 10 in the morning, followed by winning party list groups at 7 in the evening. Among the top 3 winners are ACT-CIS, Bayan Muna, and Ako Bicol. Rex Remitio, CNN Philippines.
Our Trisha Terada is at the PICC in Pasay City with a look at preparations for the proclamation. Trisha, what can you tell us?
Yes, Ria, today is the big day, finally, at least for those who fought for months and some even years to win a seat in the last 3 years of the Duterte administration. After a little over a week, COMELEC will now be proclaiming the winners for the national positions. At 10 a.m., we will be seeing the first batch of winners. That's the winning senatorial bets. Before we reach this point, the proclamation was postponed not just once, but a number of times to give way to the completion of canvassing. It was a tight fight until the end, as the National Board of Canvassers had to wait for the final certificate of canvass to make sure the rankings are final. But COMELEC had to face even bigger troubles in these elections. Just to give you a quick recap, there had been issues with defective SD cards and vote counting machines, bleeding marking pens, plus delays in the transmission of election data. And more than a week after the elections, here we are with the poll body all set to announce the winners. Of course, we're expecting all commissioners to be present today. No final word yet if the president will make it at the PICC, but COMELEC says it's prepared. Each winner is allowed to bring up to 10 people only. Voter turnout is at 74% or 47.2 million. Ria?
Trisha, after the proclamation of the senators, when do we expect the proclamation of party list winners?
Well, Ria, as originally planned, the proclamation of both senatorial and party list bets will be taking place in just one day. So that will be followed later tonight at 7 p.m. The party list winning bets will be announced, and but unlike the protocol for the winning senatorial bets, there will be a different number of cap of guests that will be allowed to enter later this evening. And COMELEC is still taking the time actually to find out how many will make it, how many nominees will make it to the final cut. But there are 61 seats up for grabs for party list bets. Ria?
Thank you very much. Trisha Terada there reporting from the PICC in Pasay City.
And that's it for us this Wednesday, May 22. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Andre Felix.
New Day is back tomorrow at 6 on the dot. I'm Mai Rodriguez.
And I'm Ria Tanwat Cotrillo. Enjoy your morning. Have a great day, especially you, Andre. Happy birthday.
Birthday again.
Thank you.
Long distance.
Layo.
See you tomorrow, everyone.
Welcome to The Source, where we combine the headlines with in-depth conversations with the newsmakers themselves. Today on the program, top Liberal Party officials quit their posts.
When you're putting together the ticket, maraming ayaw tumakbo, maraming nag-decline, maraming takot. Pero sila, tumaya.
Following Ocho Derecho candidates' defeat in the midterm polls.
Talagang yung resources that we had, sobrang liit compared dun sa resources na hawak nung kabila.
But LP officials demand accountability for election glitches.
Hinihintay natin at hinihintay na natin yung paliwanag ng COMELEC. So let us wait. We want to complete the process and then we will take it from there.
And we get to know the state of the opposition under the Duterte administration.
Tuloy-tuloy ang relasyon natin, hindi po pang eleksyon lang. Ang paninindigan sa demokrasya ay tuloy-tuloy and forever.
Hindi nagtatapos dahil kailangan patuloy nag-organize, patuloy nagplano, at kailangan palakasin ang hanay po ng grupo ng Ocho Derecho.
Liberal Party Vice President and Ocho Derecho senatorial candidate Erin Tanyada joins us live. Thank you for joining us. I'm Pinky Webb. Vice President Leni Robredo rejects the resignation of top Liberal Party officials, saying that much work remains to be done and LP officials should do it together. LP President and Ocho Derecho campaign manager Kiko Pangilinan handed over his resignation to Robredo after his failure to bring opposition bets to victory in the midterm elections. Also, the state of opposition now that the administration allies dominate the senatorial race and the 18th Congress, and what should the government do after former Ombudsman Conchita Carpio Morales was denied initial entry by Hong Kong airport officials? Let's go straight to the source of the story. Liberal Party Vice President, he's still there for External Affairs and Ocho Derecho senatorial candidate Erin Tanyada. Erin, good to see you again. Welcome to the show.
Yes, thank you.
Nakapagpahinga ka na?
Wala pang bakasyon, trabaho ko agad.
All right, unfortunately, you ranked 27, you lost in the senatorial race. Was it all worth it for you?
It was worth it. First of all, when I entered into the race, it was open eyes. No, dahil sabi ko, ito yung opportunity na binigay sa akin. Dahil everybody knows I should have run in 2013 and then again in 2016, but the opportunities were not there. So it was easy to say no, not to run, considering that the chances are not good. But I was telling myself, maybe kailangan may boses. Kailangan pag-usapan yung mga issues. Kaya maski alam kong mahirap manalo, tough hill to climb, kailangan lumaban.
Why do you think you didn't make it? Or in hindsight, was there something you missed?
In every run of any opposition, if you're going up against the administration, the cards are stacked against you. So I would say that is normal in any midterm elections. But the thing that is not normal with regard to the Duterte administration is that he used fear, waved a bunch of papers proclaiming narco list, that caused even mayors to shudder. And so traditional friends who you can call and approach, especially friends of mine who I've had the courtesy of being part of 3 congresses, would say, Erin, you can come, but don't expect me to welcome you in the district or in the town. Baka mapagalitan eh.
They really said that to you?
Personally, yes.
If I were to ask you how many, without asking who, mga ilang beses niyo po narinig yun? Sa
Ay.
mga kaibigan ninyo na sinabing, wag mo lang asahan na nandyan ako pagpasok mo dito sa...
Sabihin natin 50% of the legislative districts. So may ganun number because naging kasamahan namin sa Liberal Party yan.
Yeah.
And then lumipat lang.
Yeah.
Kaya you still have that relationship with
True.
them.
Yeah.
So
Was that such a
19
disappointment for you? Was it such a big disappointment for you?
Ako parang expected considering the climate that the country's in. No. Of course, disappointment, pero sana may konting tapang, pero naintindihan ko.
Okay, we're talking about more than 30 years of Atanyada in the Senate na hanggang ngayon wala na naman from your lolo way back
Way
to your
back.
father, sabi mo nga 1987
To 95.
1995. You could have or should have, but you didn't in the past 2 or 3 elections, but you didn't. And then unfortunately ngayon, wala pa rin kayo. Moving forward, is this still something you'd like to consider doing in the future?
Well,
serve in the upper chamber of
not
Congress?
necessarily maybe serve in the upper chamber. I would not close the door there. But at this point, how to strengthen the political party? The political party has been demonized. But if you look at the ideas that the political party is trying to sell to the people, people's participation, issues on the Coco Levy, issues on the high prices, West Philippine Sea, all these are material and they always have to be discussed for people to understand. And what is glaring that the campaign showed the 8 candidates is that people understand, but they don't know why government is doing this.
Okay.
Bakit tumataas ang presyo ng mga bilihin? Akala ko ang gobyerno ay para sa amin. Pero yun nga, hindi nila makonect na kasalanan rin ng mga taong nilalagay nila sa pwesto. So ganun yung kuan eh. Kasi if you would also look at the surveys, ang mga issues the issues that are always top mind, high prices, low wages, jobs.
Yeah. But are you on this reality that mataas ang trust and satisfaction rating
Yes.
ng publiko sa Pangulo? Hence, they will vote for the people he's endorsing.
Yes, that's why they have to understand. That's why they can't understand why is the government doing this to me.
So do you think there's a disconnect?
There's a disconnect. As a matter of fact, the election of President Duterte, I would say, is a result of people not feeling government, no? And here comes a person who says, in a very clear message, that I will address this particular issue only, no? War on drugs. Eh, nagustuhan nila, no? Kaya nanalo si President Duterte. Ngayon, with regard to the other issues, if the economic upturn of our country is not being felt by the poor, then there's going to be another shift.
So, after the elections, I want to show this. You were seen working already 2 days, I think, after the elections.
Yes.
You were seen in court. Abogado ho kasi si, former Congressman Erin Tanyada at kayo ni Attorney Chel Diok, no? Trabaho ka agad? 2 days after the elections?
Trabaho ka agad. Merong kaming kaso, yung Ortiga shootout. And we didn't know whether the case would proceed because the last hearing before the campaign started in January, the judge had retired. And so the court set the date on May 15. So during the campaign, we would be asking the court, may judge ba? Meron na raw judge. So tuloy. Pagdating namin doon, wala namang prosecutor. So, na-reset rin. Pero handa kami.
Okay, so ganyan talaga nangyayari sa mga abogado. Win or lose, even Attorney Romy Macalental is back into, siguro, I think he has some candidates also he's representing as well. So a lot of things here because I believe on June 4, that is the date set by the Oversight Committee of both the Senate and the House of Representatives to look into the possible problems encountered during the elections. My question is, Congressman, kayo ho ba nababahala dun sa nangyaring corrupted SD cards, malfunction vote counting machines, at yung transmission delay na 7 hours? Cause for concern ho ba ito o may kayang tanggapin dahil nangyayari sa eleksyon?
Well, cause of concern. Masyado mahaba yung 7 hours, no? Anything could have happened there. And we feel that across party lines, kailangan malaman talaga kung ano nangyari. Dahil meron mas malaking eleksyon sa 2022 na kailangan paghandaan lahat. At dito natin, this is where we're going to see that the different political parties who have a stake in the 2022 elections, the coalition of the administration will break up. That's for sure. Because the coalition members will have their own political candidates for president. So they have to find out what actually happened. Why were the other issues that should have been resolved still remain with regard to the pen? It still blots on the other side of the paper. Now, does that affect the count on the vote?
Yeah.
So these are questions. The SD card, no? We cannot accept, no, we unbundled the bidding to other suppliers. That's a general denial. I think we should go into, before accepting all these SD cards, were they all tested and retested before deployment?
So good to look into it, especially because the presidential elections is going to happen in 3 years.
Yes, it's not a concern only of the Liberal Party. It should be the concern of the Nationalista Party, the PDP Laban, the NPC, the Lakas Party.
CMD.
Yeah.
But if you look at the composition of the Senate now, obviously none of the Ocho Derecho candidates made it. What is the status of the Senate? Do you feel there could be an independent Senate? Do you believe in them?
Well, we still have 4 candidates, 4 senators in the Senate whose terms will be ending in 2022. But obviously one cannot vote because she's under detention. But we still have Senator Drilon, Senator Risa Ontiveros, and Senator Kiko Pangilinan, who would have to take the cudgels of the minority in the Senate. And I believe that they would be able to push and be, how would you say it, not an obstructionist, but question bills that they feel would be anti-poor, anti-people.
You talked about Senator Kiko Pangilinan, the news yesterday, of course, of his resignation from the Liberal Party. We'll be talking about that after the break. This is The Source on CNN Philippines. Please stay tuned. You're watching The Source on CNN Philippines. Our guest today, Liberal Party Vice President and Senatorial Candidate Erin Tañada. So just a quick reaction on the winners, the 12 winners.
Well, again, congratulations to the 12 winners. I'm sure they did their best as we did ours. And I hope that when they are in the Senate and they push the laws that they want to advocate, that they would always consider, ito ba yung gusto ng taong bayan? No? At the end of the day, yun ang parate. Ano yung epekto? My question always, what would be the effect on the ordinary people? Will it make their lives much more difficult? If it will, then what are the safety nets? If not, then reject the law.
So, ano yan, whichever party you belong to, it's really for the Filipino people. Senator Kiko Pangilinan, of course, yesterday we broke the news that he resigned as LP president and, of course, campaign manager, taking the cudgels now for the loss of the Ocho Derecho candidates. There's a slew of comments. In fact, let's begin with this. See, Vice President Lenny Robredo is saying here, with utmost respect, your resignation is not accepted. Hindi tinatanggap ni VP Leni Robredo yung ginawa ni Senator Kiko Pangilinan. And likewise you, Senator Franklin Drilon, and many others.
Well, again, I think as a good leader, you take into consideration the actions that you've took during the campaign, and you hold yourself accountable to it. And I think this is one way of Kiko saying, the buck stops with me. If there's anyone to be blamed, it's me. So
Is he supposed to be the one blamed for this?
I think it's a shared responsibility of the whole group. No? We know that we were up against a wall, and it was not a difficult fight. We knew that if we ever went to different towns and provinces, there would be no welcoming party there. So we had to adjust our campaign to bring the campaign to the people itself. It would take much more time, and it would be much more tiring, but that's the way it has to go.
So let's read a portion of the letter of the Vice President. Sabi niya dito, more importantly, I'm likewise fully convinced that now, more than ever, your insight, experience, and leadership will be needed if our party is to emerge stronger and better from the disappointment of the elections. Also, just a reaction on that, hindi ba, hindi naman daw siya mawawala sa Liberal Party, sabi niya. Ang resignation lang ni Senator Kiko Pangilinan is as president.
Yes.
But he will remain as a member of the party.
Yes, that is true. I don't think for the types of leaders that we have in the party, like Senator Kiko, the Vice President, or other longtime members, we don't leave a party just because of certain reasons. We stay with the party because of the principles of what the party stood for. So yun yung override.
Did you know he was going to do this?
No. As a matter of fact, we were having a meeting yesterday, short, quick assessment before the longer assessment. And during the meeting, the staff of Kiko was saying, "Sir, nag-break na." Ano nag-break? Sir, nag-break na. Maraming tumatawag na. A lot of people were calling the numbers of certain people, even mine. I said, what broke? So I know what to answer. So they showed. And then he said he submitted his resignation.
That was the only time Senator Kiko Pangilinan said it to you guys, told you guys, or informed you guys?
The staff of Senator Kiko, I think, knew. But the other members, the regular members of the party did not know.
Who was there? Who were there yesterday? You, Senator Kiko Pangilinan?
Teddy Baguila, Kit Belmonte.
Yeah, but it's also Kit Belmonte who resigned as Sec Gen.
That's why he was sitting beside me. I also didn't know. I didn't know.
So ginulat nila kayong dalawa?
Ginulat kami.
And what did you say? Did you say anything directly to Senator Pangilinan and Congressman Kit?
I just told them I understood their position, pero I think the chances of that being accepted, I think, is not high. So you'll still be...
Congressman, do you think it was just a courtesy resignation? Ganun ho kaya ito?
Hindi. He wanted to be held accountable for the loss. And if there are other leaders to lead the party, he's willing to pass the mantle. Kasi, again, if I look forward, in 2022, he will also be a candidate for senator re-election. So
if he runs,
if he runs for re-election, that's true. That's true. If he runs, he has not yet decided. But I would assume that he would be running, and it would be hard to manage a party in a presidential election, no, and run also at the same time.
Okay.
So baka yun ang nasa isip rin.
Well, baka naman kailangan ng bagong presidente also, especially in a scenario where Senator Kiko Pangilinan possibly will run in 2022. Who are the candidates, possible candidates to become
For senator?
president of the Liberal Party? Baka kayo, sir.
Hindi. Of course, nandyan si VP Leni. Although, again, ayoko ng pangunahan. Wala pang decision si VP Leni. That will be made, that decision will be made at the proper time. Kailangan rin pag-isipan. I think this is important. If LP will coalesce also with another political party for the 2020.
Who's possible right now to coalesce with?
Hindi ko nga alam.
Wala ka pa naiisip.
Mahirap eh.
Alam mo naman, it's evolving, diba?
In my solitude, I try to think about it, but
You came up with...
nothing yet up to now. Maybe my standards are too high, kaya I have to listen to other people.
Congressman, paano yun? I mean, what happens to the LP in 2022?
We will
Are you
continue.
crumbling?
No, we will not crumble. As a matter of fact, we faced the dictatorship in the 1970s and 80s. The LP, the Liberal Party, did not crumble. So we will continue. Again, there are always setbacks in life. Sabi ko nga, kung ako, nag-bar ako ng 3 beses eh. So, sa baliwala itong setback na ito, kailangan, how do we pick up the pieces? And I think the Vice President had mentioned that. And we have to pick up the pieces as early as now.
But very briefly, kasi sabi mo kasama mo si Senator Kiko Pangilinan kahapon, and then the news broke, you guys didn't know. I mean, what did you tell him? Hindi mo ba sinabi na, Senator, don't resign as president of LP?
Nabigay na yung sulat eh. I think the letter was given the night before.
I see. All right, we'll be taking a short break. This is The Source on CNN Philippines. We're going to talk about the initial denial of entry on former Ombudsman Conchita Carpio Morales. We'll be right back. You're watching The Source on CNN Philippines. Our guest today, Liberal Party Vice President and Senatorial Candidate, Erin Tañada. Sir, one of the criticisms, or often nabato po sa Liberal Party, was that hindi kayo united even during the campaign. How is the status right now? At ilan na lang ho ba kayo sa Liberal Party?
Ang Liberal Party, we were able to elect 18 congressmen, if I'm not mistaken, and I think 1 or 2 governors. I don't know yet the number of mayors. So you have to ask me again when Congress opens in July 20, the 4th Monday of July, if the 18 will stay 18.
Because
Kasi
of course,
alam naman natin there will be a vote on
the leadership
of the House.
Which is already being talked about right now,
Yes.
because there are a number of names floating on who will be the next speaker, because Speaker Gloria Macapagal-Arroyo is going to be retiring.
Yes, and it's really going to be a battle in the House right now.
So, but the question on the unity, 2 things, the unity of the Liberal Party, and do you have a strong leader in the Liberal Party?
I think we have a strong leader. The Vice President is still the head of the chairman of the Liberal Party, and she commands respect of the members of the Liberal Party. We still have Senator Kiko Pangilinan, Senator Laila, Senator Frank Drilon.
Because Senator Risa is Akbayan.
Yes, coalition partner, no? Of course, BAM will not disappear. He will be very active, I would also think, in party rebuilding. And I think that is the direction that the party has been going through since 2016. As a matter of fact, the Liberal Party is concentrating its organizing efforts in the grassroots, not anymore local government units.
I see. Okay, let's shift topics very
Yes.
briefly. The issue on former Ombudsman Conchita Carpio Morales being denied initially entry to Hong Kong, but subsequently she was going to be allowed entry. However, she chose to come back to Manila last night at about, I don't know, 9 or 10 p.m., sir. Number one, is that illegal that she was denied entry?
It's the choice of the host country. We can't question that. That's the same process that we have also in our country. And I think the question that has to be asked: what made her be in the watch list of the Hong Kong government? And obviously, the only reason that would put her in the watch list is she was one of the 2 complainants to the ICC.
Against President Xi Jinping.
Yes,
Yeah.
and outside of that, there's no other reason. And I'm sure even before the case was filed, she would be visiting Hong Kong, freely. So that would be the only sticking point.
Last question. Is the Philippine government, the Department of Foreign Affairs, or any other concerned agency, have they been aware of something like this, or have they done something about it?
Usually the other governments are not aware, of who are put in the watch list of other countries. Maybe we can ask our government to ask foreign countries so that the embarrassment will not be there. Are certain government officials in your watch list? So it would not be a hassle to it. That could be a step forward. But if the host government that would be receiving the former official or government official would say we wouldn't want to release that, we have to recognize that.
There's no mandate really, or there's no responsibility on any country, for that matter, to release such data. All right. Again, I just wanted to clarify that, because they don't even have to give you a reason for not accepting you in that country, in the same way the Philippines has that right as well. Congressman Erin Tañada, sir, maraming salamat po sa inyo. And well, you're back to being a lawyer and private practice. Tapos na ang kampanya. Maraming salamat, Congressman Erin Tañada. Thank you for joining us here on The Source. I'm Pinky Webb. You're watching CNN Philippines. Magandang umaga, ako po si Pinky Webb at ito ang special presentation ng CNN Philippines para sa proklamasyon ng mga nanalong senador sa midterm elections. Tinapos na po ng National Board of Canvassers ang official count para sa senatorial at party list elections. Ito'y mahigit 1 linggo mula ng idaos ang halalan. Makailang ulit na antala ang proklamasyon dahil sa hinihintay ng mga certificates of canvass mula sa Estados Unidos at sa Saudi Arabia. Naroon sa Philippine International Convention Center sa Pasay City ang aming correspondent na si Trisha Terada. Trisha, ano bang inaasahan nating mangyayari ngayon at nagdadatingan na ang mga nanalong senador?
Yes, Pinky, sunod-sunod na nga nagdadatingan yung mga nanalo sa senatorial race. At yun nga, Pinky, matapos ang ilang ulit na pag-atras-abante sa araw ng proklamasyon, tuloy na talaga ngayon ang pagkilala sa mga nanalong senatorial at party list bets. Matapos ito ng mahigit 1 linggong paghihintay. Nagsisimula ng magdatingan nga itong mga kabilang sa Magic 12. Alas 10 kasi ang tinakdang oras ng proklamasyon. Pero bago tayo dumating sa puntong ito, ilang beses nga naunsyami ang pagproklama ng mga nanalo dahil talagang hinintay ng National Board of Canvassers na makumpleto ang canvassing. Mahigpit kasi yung labanan hanggang dulo, kaya kinailangan siguraduhin ng COMELEC na pinal at hindi nagagalaw ang ranking. Bago ito, matatandaan natin na humarap din ang COMELEC sa mga matinding problema ngayong halalan. Kabilang na dyan yung mga depektibong SD cards, memory cards, vote counting machines, marking pens at delay sa transparency server. Pero sa kabilangan ng mga ito, handa na ang COMELEC na iproklama ang mga nanalo. Inaasahan na dadalo ang mga commissioners ngayong araw at nagtapos yung halalan natin sa 74% o 47.2 million voter turnout. Mamayang alas 7 ng gabi inaasahan na ipoproklama naman yung mga nanalong kandidato dito sa party list race. At mabilisan lang, Pinky, ilan sa mga nakita na natin dito ay mga unang dumating sina Nancy Binay, Senator Cynthia Villar, at nandito na rin sina Sonny Angara. Nakatatapos rin natin may interview, binabanggit ang kanilang mga priority measures. Nandito rin si Francis Tolentino at Bato de la Rosa. Unti-unti na rin nagdadatingan yung iba pang mga senatorial the winners ng senatorial race. Andito na rin si Senator Grace Poe. Kararating-rating lang nasa labas siya sa mga oras na to. At ilang miyembro ng pamilya Marcos. Sina Bongbong Marcos at dating First Lady Imelda Marcos nandito na rin. Pero si Amy Marcos ay hinihintay pa rin sa mga oras na to. Pinky?
At talagang red carpet ang nandyan sa PICC. Trisha, ibinalita mo yan nung isang araw pa dahil nga gaya ng sinabi mo, tras abante, na ilang beses na antala ang proklamasyon ngayong araw. Balikan natin yung nangyari. Well, anyway, ipapakita natin on the screen, of course, that's the second placer, si Senador Grace po, kasama ang kanyang asawa at syempre ang kanyang nanay na si Susan Roses. At gaya ng sabi ni Trisha, nagdaratingan nga. Siyempre, ang mga senador, it's a big day, Trisha, para sa kanilang lahat. Especially, sigurado naman lahat, pero especially kay Senator Nancy Binay dahil siguradong-sigurado na siyang nandun sa 12th spot at ngayon nga ang kanilang proclamation.
Pinky, tama ka dyan. Alam mo, nakausap natin siya kanina bago siya pumunta dun sa kanyang upuan. No? At nakukwento niya nga sa atin na talagang ang pakiramdam daw ay para siyang nanganak ng pang-apat na beses. Dahil alam niya naman daw na may aasahan na magandang balita, pero dahil nga dun sa pag-atras abante, talagang nakakakaba naman daw at nakakabitin nga daw yung pakiramdam. Pinky?
Bakit? Dahil tingnan natin yung mga numero na lumabas based on the official results. More or less kasi ang kanilang pagitan ni Senator J.V. Ejercito, more or less is about 200,000 votes. At gaya na nangyari kahapon, Trisha, ilang araw ka na rin nakabantay dyan, hinintay kasi yung mga certificates of canvass mula sa Saudi Arabia at yung sa LA na napapunta dapat sa Washington, na mula Washington ay itatransmit dito sa Pilipinas. That's the reason. Kahapon sana ang proclamation pero hindi nga ito naituloy ayon kay James Jimenez kahapon dahil dun sa dalawang COC na hinintay mula sa overseas voting, Trisha.
Tama yan, Pinky. Yung mga delay nga ay pinagmulan doon nga sa transmission ng data ng COCs mula sa United States at doon sa Saudi Arabia. Kinailangan talaga nilang hintayin yung mga data o yung transmission mula sa US dahil gitgitan talaga yung labanan para sa 12 spot. Sabi ng COMELEC, hindi sila basta-basta makapagproklama dahil yung inaantay na boto ay mas mataas yung bilang doon sa kung pagsusumahin yung difference between the 12th and the 13th spot. Kaya inantay nila kahit hanggang umabot na talaga ng alas 10 kagabi nang dumating yung transmission mula Washington. Pero ang mahalaga daw ngayon ay pasok na talaga lahat at malinaw na kahit ganun yung gap, nabilang naman ang lahat ng boto.
Sabi nga ni spokesperson James Jimenez, kaya hindi muna nila sinasabi kagabi kung kailan talaga ang proclamation dahil ayaw na nilang magbigay ng specific date dahil baka mamaya hindi na naman ito natuloy. Pero siguro sa mga nagtatanong na Trisha, bakit ganun na nangyari? Nagka-problema nga, mula kasi sa LA, hindi naman yung tinransmit, Trisha, yung mga boto. Kung hindi, I think physically, ay kailangan ata dalhin sa Washington yung mga boto. And then from there, nagka-canvassing at pagkatapos noon, ay pagkatapos idinala dito itinransmit dito sa Pilipinas ang resulta ng mga boto mula LA, Washington hanggang dito. So far, Trisha, ayan, ang nakikita naman natin ngayon, ayan na, si Governor and now Senator, well, soon to be Senator Amy Marcos kasama ang kanyang pamilya at anak. Halos siguro, Trisha, kumpleto na ata yung 12, parang lahat ata. Meron pa bang hinihintay na wala pa dyan, Trisha?
Yes, Pinky, sa mga oras na to, halos kompleto na sila. Tinitignan pa lang natin kung sino pa yung mga inaantay nating dumating at nandito na rin kararating-rating lang din ni Lito Lapid at ito, kausap natin ngayon si Senator Grace po at kagaya ng nabanggit mo ay papasok na rin si dating Governor Amy Marcos. Pinky?
May mo ba si Senator Grace po, Trisha?
Pinky, hindi natin malinaw na narinig ayon.
Katabi mo ba ngayon si Senator Grace po?
Yes, Pinky, kasama natin si Senator Grace po.
Go ahead. You can interview her, Trisha, so we can hear kung anong sasabihin ni Senator Grace po.
Take anything for granted. You can never be complacent, whatever.
Ito si Senator Grace.
Thank you.
Pinky, sa mga oras na to, pinabalik na si Senator Grace po at pinapunta na siya sa kanyang upuan dahil anong mga minuto ay maaari na raw magsimula itong proklamasyon.
Oo nga. So, ang talagang ang plano is 10 a.m. ang proklamasyon ng 12 nanalong senador at gaya ng sinasabi nga ni Tricia, nagdatingan na silang lahat. Ang, of course, hindi natin na-monitor lahat, although we saw Senators Cynthia Villar, Grace Poe, nakita na rin natin si Bongo, nakita natin si Bato de la Rosa, si Sunny. Go ahead, Tricia.
Pinky, andito ngayon si Governor Amy Marcos at pakikinggan na natin ang kanyang pahayag. Ngayon ngang pasok na siya sa Magic 12.
Sumabongo. Mahirap na.
Ma'am, at one point ba, nagduda kayo or nangamba kayo na...
Hindi naman, nainip lang ng bonggang-bongga dahil gusto ko na umuwi sa Ilocos. Pero maraming salamat. Sa wakas, narito na tayo. Sana ma-proclaim na at nabilang na halos lahat. So, thank you very much. Well, maraming salamat sa lahat. Ako'y tuwan-tuwa. Siyempre, hit the ground running, sabi nga. At napakarami na natin pinag-usapan buong kampanya. At dala-dala ko ang karanasan ko sa local government. Ang napakaraming pagkukulang sa ating mga maliliit na barangay, sa ating mga iba't ibang mga bukid at liblib, sa agrikultura, sa ating mahihirap na ako'y naniniwala na everything is going to be poverty alleviation driven as far as my program is concerned. Hindi ko pa alam. I think napapag-usapan na ng mga incumbent bilang neophyte. Kindergarten lang kami. Kung ano maibigay sa amin, matutuwa na po ako. Given a chance, gusto ko kasi manatili sa poverty direction. So yung DSWD, yung social welfare, gusto ko yun. Gusto ko rin yung sana maging member rin ng agriculture at ng finance para mabigyan yung mga mambubukid. Yung local government, angkop din naman sa akin dahil galing akong barangay tapos naging governor. Marami naman pwedeng pasukan. Maski ano naman, ayos lang. Lagi naman ako hit with so many issues eh. Punching bag naman. Ayos lang. Ayos lang. Sanay na yung mga pamilya namin. Yeah, no, I think I'm going to get back to work right away. I'm very, very keen to turn over also the Ilocos Norte government to my son. Nag-iintay yung aking anak, yung aming bunso, nandun sa Ilocos. So, tuntua ako na ako'y nagpapasalamat. Sabi nga, unang-una sa mga Ilocano at tulad nga ng sinabi ng teleserye, the North remembers. I certainly will never forget. So I'm really grateful to all the Ilocanos, to the loyalists who have remained with us. Certainly, I will remain even more loyal to them sa lahat ng mga kaibigan ng ating mga kabataang barangay dati. Nakatandaan na ngayon na ayaw paawa, tinulungan ako 10 ng mga SK. At pati na rin sa OFW, hindi ko nabisita. I-blow out ko kayo, pero sa Ilocos, punta na kayo. Uwi na tayo. At tuwan-tuwa ako.
Ma'am, now that you're part of the Magic 12, how do you feel about it? The Marcoses are back in the national power. Posible ba, ma'am, na presidency for any of the Marcoses?
Hindi nga makaupo si Bongbong eh. Labis naman yun. Hindi, naging senador na si Bongbong noon. This is not that big a deal. Pero, strangely, in 1959, exactly 60 years ago, my dad became senator for the first time as well. And that was the eve of the great boom of the 1960s. I feel the same kind of raging optimism now with President Duterte at the lead. And sana tuloy-tuloy na ang progreso at development ng Pilipinas.
Another Marcos come 2022 is part of the...
Parang napakalayo pa noon. Nagre-recover pa ako sa 2019 at hilo pa kami sa 2016.
So what's your strength in this campaign, ma'am?
Sorry?
Malakas, paano kayo nag-compete?
Well, yung tinatawag na Marcos footprint, obvious. The solid north is alive and well.
Ma'am, tingin nyo, may dito siyang Marcos because of Facebook.
Alam niyo, napakadami na ng pinagdaanan namin. Hindi na namin inaalala yung vindication. So lahat ng mga basher, mga hater, yung mga galit sa amin, wag na kayong matakot sa akin kasi hindi naman ako mapaghigante. Gagawa lang tayo ng trabaho. Maraming salamat po.
right, that's the
Yan,
interview
Pinky,
with...
narinig niyo si dating Governor Amy Marcos na ngayon nga ay poproklama bilang senador. At kanya nga nabanggit, just to a quick recap, no, kung papipiliin nga siya ng committee, gusto niya tumutok sa agrikultura at pag-address ng problema ng kahirapan. At doon naman sa mga issues, sa mga bashers, sinasabi niya na hindi na raw dapat matakot sa kanila. And at the same time, parang baliwala na rin sa kanya dahil sanay na raw sila sa pambabash sa kanilang pamilya. At natanong nga din natin kung anong pakiramdam na ngayon nakabalik na naman ang Marcos sa national seat. At inalala niya na 60 years ago, coincidentally nga daw, ay naupo ang kanyang ama na si Ferdinand Marcos. At naniniwala siya na parang signos daw ito na posibleng ng pag-boom ng bansa ulit, na meron na naman daw Marcos na nakaupo. At yun nga, paulit-ulit niyang binabanggit na gusto niyang tutulungan ang mga magsasaka at ma-address ang problema sa kahirapan. Pinky?
Okay, Trisha, maraming salamat sa iyo. Patuloy tayong ipinapakita ang nangyayari dyan live sa PICC para nga sa proklamasyon ng 12 senador. Pero ipasok muna natin ito kaugnay ng proklamasyon ng mga nanalong senador nga makakasama natin dito sa studio ang political strategist na si Malu Tikia. Malu, welcome. Good to see you again.
Magandang umaga, Pinky.
Oh, quick reaction dito sa nakikita natin. Of course, very exciting, I'm sure, especially for the 12 new and old senators. Pero masakit dun sa dalawa siguro na hindi nanalo, no?
Pero alam mo, ang kagandahan, despite all the issues thrown the COMELEC's way, naghintay sila. Yung 100 transmission, hindi naging bagabag ang lahat. Kasi ngayon, pwede na nilang i-proclaim. Unlike before, half yung pinoproclaim, tapos half yung naghihintay. Ito maganda yung reform na ganon kasi at least magkakaroon na ng closure dun sa iba. At makakapag-postmortem kung saan nagkaroon ng problema.
Kasi tapos na eh. Hindi yung parang installment sila na ito muna ang proclaim natin. And then especially tonight, because for those who are wondering, yung party list po ay ipoproclaim naman mamayang gabi at about 7 p.m. And also, that's also quite, something to look into. Let's talk about your assessment of the 12 winning senators.
Well, makikita mo dun sa 12, clearly, pag may balwarte ka, ang laki ng tsansa mo.
Tulad ni Solid North.
Imelda. I'm sorry. Katulad ng the likes of yung sa Cavite, yung sa Mindanao, makikita natin yung endorsement factor ng Pangulo at ng kanyang anak. Buong Mindanao, apparently, pag inanalyze mo ang HNP result, they statistically garnered a higher share of votes, while LP significantly worst off. Makikita mo yung only klarado na lugar na nag-convert ang Otso Derecho was Bicol. Pero ang nangyari ngayong eleksyon, makikita mo yung North buhay pala. Yung dati kasi North-South eh. Tapos naging Lingayen, Lucena. Tapos naging biggest provinces and regions. Ngayon, kung itatag mo yung resulta ng eleksyon sa mapa, makikita mo ang
Solid North
and Mindanao.
So ibig sabihin ba no, naniniwala na dapat lang maniwala ang tao na totoo ang Solid North ngayon?
Oo, mukhang talaga nag-solido sila sa mga kandidato nila at makikita mo yung reality na 23% ang Mindanao pero ang Luzon is 54. So paano ka mananalo? Kailangan mo ng Luzon. So pero kung ganong katibay ang Northern Luzon, that means from Cagayan down to mga hanggang Isabela, Region 3, Pampanga, Tarlac, malakas yun.
Is that a surprise, Malu, considering that Bongbong Marcos almost won the vice presidency?
Maganda ng pag-aralan, Pinky, yung resulta ng eleksyon ni Amy at saka ni Bongbong eh. Kasi makikita mo, pareho ba? Kung titingnan mo kasi silang dalawa, ibang-iba ang style nila sa kampanya. Si Bongbong prepared. Way ahead. Pag pumunta ka sa kanyang headquarters, talagang, alam mo, nagbabas na may election. Pag pumunta ka kay Amy, parang, alam mong Ilocano yung tumatakbo, alam mong hindi siya naniniwala sa may opisina dito. So, ibang-iba, pero makikita mo yung iniikutan nila, almost the same. Ngayon, hindi ko alam kung sino nag-convert ng mas ayos. Kasi si Bongbong, I think, won by how many? Ang margin nila ni BP Lenny was like in the ranges of 20 million, 21 million, parang ganun eh. While si Governor was, I think, hitting 18. So, ngayon, ang magandang pag-aralan doon, nabuhay ba uli yung North?
Yeah.
Kasi critical yon. May tumakbo ng 2016 na Ilocano, may tumakbo ngayon na Ilocano. Chances are, you can rely on that baluarte by 2020.
I understand that question kasi kung balikan natin yung candidacy ni Bongbong Marcos bago siya nanalo, natalo siya eh. Di ba? Una siyang natalo.
Yung pagbalik nila, unang talo.
Bago siya nanalo muli. So actually, when he won for senator, it was a big question mark kasi iniisip ng siguro tao, mananalo kaya to after his first loss.
Tapos kung makikita mo yung pagkapanalo niya ng senador, dun sa vice-presidente, lumaki lang yung base niya by 3%.
I see.
So meaning, nung 6 years niya sa Senado, hindi lumalaki yung base niya. Hindi ko alam ngayon kung lumaki yung kay Aimee.
That's good. So kaya sabi mo maganda siyang case study.
Magandang case study.
Alright, kausapin din natin ngayon si University of the Philippines Political Science Professor Jean Franco. Professor Franco, magandang umaga po sa inyo.
Magandang umaga, Pinky.
So magkasama tayo, last week, Professor, and finally now, ipoproclaim na yung 12 senators. What's your assessment so far?
Well, at least hindi nagkaroon ng kahit na anong aberya, at least na-proclaim na. And we're hopeful that we're going to have a new Senate, new proposals, and I hope they think a lot about how to pursue development in the very near future.
Ano ho, Professor, ang inyong palagay sa pagkapanalo ng pwede nating tawagan sigurong supermajority na kaalyado ng Pangulong Rodrigo Duterte sa Senado?
Well, I guess it just goes to show that the president is still very popular, especially yung dalawang talagang porsigido niyang in-endorse. And also, it goes to show that when you are an incumbent senator, then the chances that you're going to win, especially if you're with the president's coalition, is far greater, than compared to others.
But what is your, siguro, kasi kung ganun ang titingnan nating mga factors, re-election is ka number 1. Pangalawa, inendorso ka ng Pangulo. That is the case of Senator J.V. Ejercito, yet he lost. He placed number 13.
I guess it's also because so many people within the Estrada Ejercito clan are running and parang crowded out the resources, logistics of the time and effort of the entire family. At hindi rin siguro nakaganda yung medyo negative campaigning that both of them embarked on during the election.
Alright, sige. Maraming salamat po sa inyo, University of the Philippines Political Science Professor Jean Franco. Muli, live po yan sa PICC sa Pasay City kung saan naganap ang canvassing of votes at kung saan ngayon magaganap ang proclamation ng 12 nanalong senador sa 2019 midterm elections. Ayan po, ang pagdating ng mga senador, siyempre pwede na natin sila tawaging Senator-elect.
Senator-elect.
Soon to be Senator-elect, yung 12, andyan na po sila. At of course, we'll show you again the final tally, although wala naman talagang pinagkaiba from the days that we've been reporting this. Number 1 pa rin si Cynthia Villar with 25 million votes. Number 2 is Grace Poe with 22 million votes. 3 is Bongo, 20 million votes. Pia Cayetano at 19.7 million votes. Bato de la Rosa at 19 million votes. Sani Angara, 18.1 million votes. Lito Lapid, nagbabalik si Lito Lapid at almost 17 million votes. And Governor Aimee Marcos at 15.8 million votes. At number 9 is Francis Tolentino at 15.5 million votes. Number 10, Coco Pimentel at 14.6 million. Number 11 is Bong Revilla at 14.6 million. And number 12 is Nancy Binay at 14.5 million votes. Again, Yung proklamasyon po ay hinihintay natin, inaantabayan na natin. Mangyayari na po yan anytime now. Kayo nanonood ng special presentation ng CNN Philippines para sa proklamasyon ng mga nanalong senador sa midterm elections. Manatiling nakatutok sa CNN Philippines. Presentation ng CNN Philippines at patuloy po tayong nakaantabay para sa proklamasyon ng mga nanalong senador. Sa nakaraang halalan, ang inyo pong nakikita ay live pictures mula sa Philippine International Convention Center or PICC sa Pasay City kung saan nga magaganap ang proklamasyon ng mga nanalo at nariyan po si Congressman at magbabalik na senador na si Pia Cayetano. You know, Malu, yesterday we had Senator Pia Cayetano on the show. At pinag-uusapan nga namin, actually two things. Ano? Una, yung kanyang supposed to be, yung criticism sa kanya na tila na nahimik siya tungkol kapag nagsasalita ang Pangulo sa mga, yung kanyang mga misogynistic remarks. Una yon. Ang kanyang paliwanag doon, hindi naman daw siya nahalal na senador para maging parang to criticize a president. In fact, she was saying, hindi naman daw talaga ganun ang kanyang estilo ever since siya'y naupo bilang senador.
Well, siguro, kailangan mong i-weigh yung nasa partido ka ng presidente, nangunguna ka doon. Pangalawa, sa tingin ko kilala naman ng mga Cayetano kung sino si Pangulo. Pangatlo, kung sa tingin ko titindig sila sa issue kung talagang totoo yung issue. Ngayon, kung yung issue pinukul lang dahil sa politika, iba yon.
So, kapag nagsalita ang Pangulo hinggil sa, you know, remarks on women, she will not say anything.
I think she will.
She will. Darating at darating yun.
Kasi yun kampanya eh. Pag sa kampanya, ang mga kandidato, naiiba ang communication style. Pero pag ikaw ay nanalo, lalo na sa Senado, those are 24 independent republics.
And you believe that, ha?
Yes. Ever since post-EDSA, talagang yung kaalyado ng Pangulo, kita naman natin nung Senado ng panahon ni Cory Aquino sa US bases, talagang hindi siya sinunod ng sa ang presidente.
They voted independently.
Si Ramos, nung gusto niya ng extension, yung kaalyado niya sa lakas, umayaw sa kanya. So makikita mo consistently, kasi titingnan natin, ang Senado is national constituency. Ang Kongreso, district. Sa district, importante anong nadala kong proyekto, anong nadala kong para mag-improve yung buhay. Pag nasa national ka, which is Senate, para mga presidente yan. In fact,
at mo kalimutan, 6 na taon sila.
Yeah, and if you're going to look at the results, somebody breached the historical, I think Villar reached 25 million.
25?
That's the highest in Philippine history for a Senate.
Well,
considering the increase of the population.
I was gonna go there.
But if you go by election from Mar in 2004, which was 19, to Revilla, who got, I think, 22 in 2010, to Grace po. So makikita mo, yung mga nagna-number 1, tinitingnan niya ng tao as potential presidential ball.
And you know, yung iba siguro, let's admit it, no, pinag-uusapan talaga sino magiging number 1 dito. Dahil sa lahat ng mga survey, until the last 2 of Pulse Asia, it was really Senator Grace po. But there was even talk na may trajectory talaga si Senator Cynthia Villar.
Yes,
and indeed, that happened during the last, hindi yung last 2. Yung second to the last, statistically tied silang dalawa. Tapos yung May 3 to May 8, doon na unahan.
Doon lumalabas, Pinky, yung sinasabi kong baluarte. Kung may baluarte ka, and to a certain degree, ang Villar, Metro Manila yan eh. So, yung baluarte mo ang papasok sa'yo, yan ang magtutulak sa'yo. Ngayon, kung wala kang baluarte, an example would be si Senator Bam Aquino. Tarlac siya, pero nung tumakbo siya, chairman ng National Youth Commission, hindi naman siya nag-local eh. So hindi mo makukuha na, baluarte ko yan.
Grace po, wala din naman
Pero may Pangasinan si FPJ, malakas siya sa Mindanao. Doon nga, kung umikot kayo, makikita nyo sa Mindanao, magugulat kayo, may poster si Grace po at saka si FPJ sa poster. Kasi binavalue ng taga Mindanao si FPJ. Di ba nga ang usapan, pag binaril mo sa pelikula, nagwawala ang mga kaibigan niya sa Mindanao. Tapos siguro isang pinking napakahalaga.
Hindi pwede mamatay si FPJ.
Oo, di ba? Tapos ang isa pa napakahalaga, makikita natin dahil dito sa last 2, yung importansya ng iglesia. Kasi swing vote yun eh. In-endorse ng iglesia si Revilla, si Binay. Si JV
Hindi
at
siya
saka si
na-endorse.
Bam, hindi. Imaginein mo kung na-endorse yun. Maliit ang iglesia, ha? Pero ang kagandahan sa iglesia, alam nila kung kailan nila ibibigay yung endorsement. Which means, bago lumabas yung Pulse Asia survey, wala pa yung endorsement. Tapos nag-endorsement ang iglesia.
Because the endorsement is, well,
Swing.
inilalabas really, is it 2 nights before or 3 nights before?
Yung siguro yung last
the actual
week,
elections?
tapos yung last samba, tapos yung sample balot nila, kaguluhan ng mga politiko doon.
Yeah.
Lalo na sa lokal.
Definitely, local, that's such a big factor. And then, of course, si 10, 11, 12, 13, 14.
Doon, yung laro. Lalo na nakita natin doon sa survey, defined naman doon sa survey from 8 to, I think, 16, yung clustering, 1%, 2%. So, any swing vote, which is iglesia, which is like 1.5, it's small. Pero dun sa fringes, makikita mo, importante yun.
Ang laki ng iaang. I mean, that can
bagay.
spell the difference between 13 and 12. Ganun yun.
And ito, proof. Nakita natin by 200,000.
Nancy Binay and Senator JV Ejercito.
Imagine kung si JV ang na-endorse. At si Bam.
Siya. Pero ang na-endorse ng iglesia is the brother.
Is the brother.
Senator
which is like
Jingo Estrada.
mababa.
Mababa naman kay Senator JV. Alright, patuloy po kayong nanonood ng CNN Philippines kung saan inaantabayanan natin ang pag-proclaim ng mga nanalong senador. Finally, they will be proclaimed today after, a couple of days na naantala ito dahil nga sa hinintay ng mga COC. So, let's turn over to the PICC.
We know that this is good and acceptable in your sight. And Heavenly Father, we pray for those who will now be proclaimed, dear God, as those who would lead us in the matter of making laws in our country. In Isaiah chapter 10 and verses 1 to 2, your word says, "Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees, and that right grievousness which they have prescribed." Your word also says in Isaiah 5, "Woe unto them that call evil good and good evil, that put darkness for light and light for darkness, that put bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter. Woe unto them that are wise in their own eyes and prudent in their own eyesight." Heavenly Father, we ask that you bless our country, that you'd bless our people. And as we go, Lord, and proclaim the ones that you have allowed, Lord, to be in place. And as we pray for them, Lord, we first of all come to you and we ask that all these things be acceptable and good in your sight. As we continue to pray for our country, let your righteousness, Lord, be in our country, for your glory and honor, and for the peace of our land. For this we pray in Jesus' most precious name. Amen.
Amin ya Rabbi al-Alamin. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. All praises and thanks be to Allah. Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim, the most gracious, the most merciful. Maliki Yawmiddin, master of the day of retribution. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. To you alone we worship, and to you alone we ask for help. Ihdina siratal mustaqim, siratal ladhina an'amta alayhim, ghayril maghdubi alayhim waladdallin. Amin. Guide us to the straight way, the way of those whom you bestowed your grace, not to those who earned your anger, nor to those who went astray. Allahumma innaka afuwun tuhibbul afwa fa'fu anna. Allahumma innaka afuwun tuhibbul afwa fa'fu anna. Allahumma innaka afuwun tuhibbul afwa fa'fu anna. Oh Allah, you are the most forgiving. You love to forgive. Please forgive us. Allahumma inna nas'aluka al-afiyah. Allahumma inna nas'aluka al-afiyah. Allahumma inna nas'aluka al-afiyah. Oh Allah, we ask you for al-afiyah. We ask you to save us from distress, grief, hardship, harm, pain and torments. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار وقنا عذاب النار وقنا عذاب النار وصلى الله على محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين والحمد لله رب العالمين.
Please remain standing for the singing of the national anthem. May I ask your indulgence to please remain standing for the singing of the national anthem, for the singing of the Comelec hymn. Ladies and gentlemen, you may now take your seats.
Please rise. Please rise. The Commission on Elections and Bank, with Chairman Sheriff M. Abbas presiding, with members present, Commissioner Al A. Pareño, Commissioner Louis Tito F. Guia, Commissioner Maria Rowena Amelia Viganzon, Commissioner Socorro Bienting, Commissioner Marlon S. Casquejo, Commissioner Antonio T. Co. Jr., having constituted itself as the National Board of Canvassers for the canvass of the senatorial and party list votes for the May 13, 2019 national and local elections, hereby formally convenes a session. Everyone is enjoined to observe proper decorum. Chairman, the agenda for today, Your Honor, is first the expression of the appreciation of the Commission on Elections to the officials and employees of the Commission, its partner agencies, citizens' arms, and civic society organizations. Second order for business of today is the proclamation of the winning senatorial candidates for the 2019 national and local elections. And the third order of the day, Your Honor, is a message from Senator Cynthia A. Villar.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, good morning again. To formally welcome all our distinguished guests this morning, I now turn the floor over to the head of the country's poll body, the Honorable COMELEC Chairman Sharif M. Abbas. Sir?
To our beloved, excuse me, to our beloved senators, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. May the peace, mercy, and blessings of Allah be with us all. Before we formally open the proclamation ceremonies this morning, I would like to first express our warmest congratulations to the Filipino people for again having to elect a new set of leaders for our country. Gusto ko ding iparating ang aking taus-pusong pasasalamat sa lahat ng mga kasama kong bumubuo sa Commission on Elections. Thank you for going above and beyond with your service for the successful conduct of the 2019 national and local elections. To the members of the Commission on Bank, I fully appreciate your motivation and energy to carry out our constitutional mandate to lead and manage the elections. To our Executive Director, Jose Tolentino, Dedo Sino Cruz, Dedo Flores, thank you for making my job to manage the COMELEC a lot easier. I am grateful that you are part of our management team. To the senior staff, election working committees, regional directors, provincial supervisors, election officers, and the rest of the COMELEC's personnel, both in the main office and in the field, the public have asked a lot from us lately, and I'm proud to say that we have delivered more than what is needed. Thank you for effectively handling all the difficult and complex situations that have arisen during the conduct of the elections. As always, you are able to skillfully approach these challenges with willingness and dignity. Maraming salamat and congratulations for a job well done. Gusto ko ding pasalamatan ang ating mga naging katuwang para sa matagumpay na pagpatakbo ng ating halalan. Of course, to the Department of Education, especially to our teachers and volunteers manning our polling precincts and ensuring that the vote of every Filipino is properly counted. To the officers and personnel of the Armed Forces of the Philippines and the Philippine National Police, thank you for ensuring safety and security for our elections. To our technology partners from the DICT, DOST, and the members of the COMELEC Advisory Council, thank you for providing us with the technical support needed in the successful conduct of the automated elections. A big thank you also to our partners in the Department of Foreign Affairs, the various embassies and posts across the globe for being our strong partner in ensuring that every Filipino from every corner of the world is given the opportunity to vote. To the Citizens Arm, the PPCRB, LENTE, the Association of Asian Election Authorities, and other foreign observers, thank you. Your objectiveness and recommendations continue to help us further improve our electoral processes. Higit sa lahat, salamat sa bawat Pilipino sa inyong pasensya at pag-intindi, sa inyong paghintay at pagbantay sa resulta ng ating halalan. Thank you for continuing to trust our electoral process and for upholding our democracy. Sa pagtatapos ng ating halalan, sabay din nating sasalubungin ang mga bagong leader na ating hinihalal sa iba't ibang posisyon nitong Mayo 13. We are now ready to congratulate and proclaim the newly elected members of the Senate of the Republic of the Philippines. With us this morning are the 12 men and women who for the past few months have tirelessly courted and sought the nod of the Filipino people. They have campaigned all over the country to reach every Filipino and have successfully made their message heard. I can only imagine how difficult it is to hold a successful campaign across the country, but these 12 were able to endure it and, more importantly, rose above it. These 12 now stand with us here today to accept the responsibility and duty that we, the voters, have entrusted to them. Mga kababayan, samahan niyo akong salubungin at batiin ang ating mga bagong halal na senador ng Republika ng Pilipinas.
Thank you, Chairman, for that very inspiring message. At this point, we can now proceed to the part of the program that we've all been waiting for. Yes, that's right. It's the formal proclamation and the presentation of the certificates of proclamation to our elected senators. For this purpose, may I again call on Chairman Abbas for the reading of the proclamation. Sir?
Thank you. NBOC Resolution number 002-19 dated May 22, 2019. In the matter of the canvass and proclamation of the 12 winning candidates for senators as duly elected senators of the Republic of the Philippines in connection with the May 13, 2019 national and local elections. Whereas the Commission on Elections, sitting unbanked as the National Board of Canvassers for senators and party list representatives, officially canvassed in open and public session the votes cast for senators in connection with the May 13, 2019 national and local elections. Whereas, on the tabulated National Canvass Report number 8, attached hereto, the following candidates for senators obtained the 12 highest number of votes for the office of the senators during the May 13, 2019 elections. Now, therefore, by virtue of the powers vested under the 1987 Constitution, the Omnibus Election Code, and other election laws, the Commission on Elections, sitting unbanked as the National Board of Canvassers, hereby declared the following candidates as the duly elected senators of the Republic of the Philippines in the May 13, 2019 national and local elections, ranked according to the number of votes obtained by each to serve for a term of 6 years beginning at noon of June 30, 2019 in accordance with Section 4, Article 6 of the 1987 Constitution of the Republic of the Philippines. Number 1, Villar Cynthia A. with a vote of 25,283,727. Followed by Po Liamansares Mary Grace Natividad S. with a vote of 22,029,788. Third, Go Christopher Lawrence T. 20,657,702. Fourth, Cayetano Pilar Juliana S. 19,789,019. Fifth, De La Rosa Ronald M. 19,004,225. Fifth, Angara Juan Edgardo M. 18,161,862. 7. Lapid Manuel M. 16,965,464. 8. Marcos Maria Emelda Josefa R. 15,882,628. 9. Tolentino Francis N. 15,510,026. 10. Pimentel Aquilino Martin III L. 14,668,665. 11. Bong Revilla Ramon Jr. B. 14,624,445. 12. Binay Maria Lourdes Nancy S. 14,504,936. So ordered. Signed, Chairman Sheriff Abbas, Commissioner Alpareño, signed Louis Tito Guia, Commissioner, signed by Commissioner Rowena Amelia Guanzon, Socorro Inting, Antonio Tico Jr., and Marlon Casquejo.
Congratulations to all our senators-elect. To get us started, may I please call on the Honorable Commissioner Marlon Casquejo to proclaim and present the Certificate of Proclamation to Senator-elect Nancy Binay.
Mr. Chair, allow me to read the Certificate of Proclamation of Senator-elect Maria Lourdes Nancy Binay. We, the Chairman and Commissioners of the Commission on Elections, sitting in bank, As the National Board of Canvassers, do hereby proclaim Maria Lourdes Nancy S. Binay as Senator-elect in the May 13 national and local elections to serve for a term of 6 years ending June 30, 2025, in accordance with Section 4, Article 6 of the Constitution of the Republic of the Philippines. Done this 22nd day of May 2019 at the PICC, City of Pasay, Philippines. Signed, Chairman Sheriff M. Abbas, Commissioners Al A. Pareño, Louis Tito F. Guia, Maria Rowena Amelia V. Guanzon, Socorro B. Inting, Marlon S. Casquejo, and Antonio T. Co. Congratulations.
May I invite the family and friends of Senator-elect Nancy Binay to join her on stage for the photo opportunity. The personal photographers of Senator-elect Nancy Binay, you may approach or stay near the stage to take pictures without standing. Thank you. Next, may I ask the Honorable Commissioner Socorro Inting for the proclamation of Senator-elect Bong Revilla.
We, the Chairman and Commissioners of the Commission on Elections, sitting and bank as the National Board of Canvassers, do hereby proclaim Ramon B. Bong Revilla Jr. as Senator-elect in the May 13, 2019 national and local elections to serve for a term of 6 years, ending June 30, 2025, in accordance with Section 4, Article 6 of the Constitution of the Republic of the Philippines. Done this 22nd day of May 2019 at the Philippine International Convention Center, City of Pasay, Philippines. Signed, Sheriff M. Abbas, Chairman, Commissioners Al A. Pareño, Louis Tito F. Guia, Maria Rowena Amelia V. Guanzon, Socorro B. Inting, Marlon S. Casquejo, and Antonio T. Co. Jr. Congratulations.
All right, so to the family and friends of Senator-elect Bong Revilla, please join him on stage for the picture taking. All right, thank you very much. Next, for proclamation is Senator-elect Coco Pimentel. For this purpose, may I kindly ask the Honorable Commissioner Louis Tito F. Gia to proceed to the podium, please, sir.
The National Board of Canvassers, we, the Chairman and Commissioners of the Commission on Elections, sitting unbanked as the National Board of Canvassers, do hereby proclaim Aquilino Martin de la Llana Pimentel III as Senator in the May 13, 2019 national and local elections to serve for a term of 6 years ending June 30, 2025 in accordance with Section 4, Article 6 of the Constitution of the Republic of the Philippines, done this 22nd day of May 2019 at the Philippine International Convention Center, City of Pasay, Philippines. Signed, Chairman Sheriff M. Abbas, Commissioners Al A. Pareño, Louis Tito F. Gia, Maria Rowena Amelia V. Guanzon, Socorro Inting, Marlon S. Casquejo, and Antonio T. Co. Jr. Congratulations.
Okay, to the family and friends of Senator-elect Coco Pimentel, please go up the stage for the photo op.
pupusuan. Boto mo na may paninindigan.
All right, thank you so much.
Iba'y nabibinig at ipadudungisan. Malayang halalan.
Okay, so next up is Senator-elect Francis Tolentino. For his proclamation and presentation of his certificate of proclamation, may I call on the Honorable Commissioner Antonio Co.
Good morning. The National Board of Canvassers. We, the Chairman and Commissioners of the Commission on Elections, sitting and bank as the National Board of Canvassers, do hereby proclaim Tol Francis N. Tolentino as Senator-elect in the May 13, 2019 national and local elections to serve for a term of 6 years ending June 30, 2025 in accordance with Section 4, Article 6 of the Constitution of the Republic of the Philippines, done this 22nd day of May 2019 at the Philippine International Convention Center, City of Pasay, Philippines. Signed, Sharif M. Abbas, Chairman. Commissioners Al A. Pareño, Louis Tito F. Gia, Maria Rowena Amelia V. Guanzon, Socorro B. Inting, Marlon S. Casquejo, Antonio Tico Jr. Congratulations po.
All right, to the family and guests of Senator-elect Francis Tolentino, please join him on stage for the picture taking. Okay. Thank you very much and congratulations, sir. May I kindly request the Honorable Commissioner Maria Rowena V. Guanzon to please proceed to the podium for the proclamation and presentation of the Certificate of Proclamation to Senator-elect Amy Marcos.
We, the Chairman and Commissioners of the Commission on Elections, sitting unbanked as the National Board of Canvassers, do hereby proclaim Maria Imelda Josefa Romualdez Marcos as Senator-elect in the May 13, 2019 national and local elections to serve for a term of 6 years, ending June 30, 2025, in accordance with Section 4, Article 6 of the Constitution of the Republic of the Philippines. Done this 22nd day of May 2019 at the Philippine International Convention Center, City of Pasay, Philippines. Signed, Sharif M. Abbas, Chair. Commissioner Al A. Pareño. Commissioner Louis Tito F. Gia. Commissioner Maria Rowena Amelia V. Guanzon. Commissioner Socorro B. Inting, Commissioner Marlon S. Casquejo, and Commissioner Antonio T. Co. Jr. Congratulations, Senator Amy Marcos.
Okay, the family and guests of Senator Amy Marcos, please join us on stage for the photo op. right. Thank you very much and congratulations. Following Senator Amy Marcos is elected Senator Lito Lapid. For his proclamation and presentation of his certificate of proclamation, may I kindly request Commissioner Casquejo to do the honors.
National Board of Canvassers, we, the Chairman and Commissioners of the Commission on Elections, sitting and bank as the National Board of Canvassers, do hereby proclaim Manuel M. Pinuno Lapid as Senator-elect in the May 13, 2019 national and local elections to serve for a term of 6 years ending June 30, 2025 in accordance with Section 4, Article 6 of the Constitution of the Republic of the Philippines. Done this 22nd day of May 2019 at PICC, City of Pasay, Philippines. Signed Chairman Sheriff M. Abbas, Commissioners Al A. Pareño, Louis Tito F. Guia, Maria Urwena Amelia V. Guanzon, Socorro B. Inting, Marlon S. Casquejo, and Antonio Tico. Congratulations.
Okay, to the family and friends of Senator Lito Lapid, please join him on stage for the photo op. All right, thank you so much and congratulations. For the proclamation of Senator-elect Sonny Angara, may I ask the Honorable Commissioner Al A. Pareño to please proceed to the podium. Sir?
National Board of Canvassers, we, the Chairman and Commissioners of the Commission on Election, sitting and bank as the National Board of Canvassers, do hereby proclaim Juan Engardo M. Angara as Senator-elect in the May 13, 2019 national and local elections to serve for a term of 6 years ending June 30, 2025 in accordance with Section 4, Article 6 of the Constitution of the Republic of the Philippines. Done this 22nd day of May 2019 at the Philippine International Convention Center, City of Pasay, Philippines. Signed, Sheriff M. Abbas, Chairman, Ale Pareño, Commissioner, Louis Tito Guia, Commissioner, Maria Rowena Amelia Guanzon, Commissioner, Socorro Inting, Commissioner, Marlon Casquejo, Commissioner, Antonio Tico, Commissioner.
friends of Senator Sonny Angara, you may now join him up here for the photo op. All right, thank you very much and congratulations, sir. Senator-elect Bato de la Rosa is up next for the formal proclamation. To execute this, may I call to the podium again Commissioner Inting.
We, the chairman and commissioners of the Commission on Elections, sitting en banc as the National Board of Canvassers, do hereby proclaim Ronald M. De La Rosa as Senator-elect in the May 13, 2019 national and local elections to serve for a term of 6 years ending June 30, 2025. In accordance with Section 4, Article 6 of the Constitution of the Republic of the Philippines. Done this 22nd day of May 2019 at the Philippine International Convention Center, City of Pasay, Philippines. Signed, Sheriff M. Abbas, Chairman, and Commissioners Al A. Pareño, Louis Tito F. Guia, Maria Rowena Amelia V. Guanzon, Socorro B. Inting, Marlon S. Casquejo, and Antonio T. Co. Jr. Congratulations.
All right, to the family and friends of Senator Bato de la Rosa, please join him on stage for the photo op. All right, thank you very much. And congratulations, sir.
Smith? Ano?
To formally proclaim and present the certificate of proclamation to Senator-elect Pia Cayetano, may I please call to the podium again Commissioner Guanzon.
S sa Pia Cayetano? Anong S? Smith? Scram. We, the chairman and commissioners of the Commission on Elections, sitting en banc as the National Board of Canvassers, do hereby proclaim Pilar Juliana Scram Cayetano as Senator-elect in the May 13, 2019 national and local elections to serve for a term of 6 years ending June 20, 2025 in accordance with Section 4, Article 6 of the Constitution of the Republic of the Philippines, done this 22nd day of May 2019 at the Philippine International Convention Center, City of Pasay, Philippines. Signed, Chair Sharif M. Abbas, Commissioner Al A. Pareño, Commissioner Louis Tito Guia, Commissioner Maria Rowena Amelia V. Guanzon, Commissioner Socorro B. Inting, Commissioner Marlon S. Casquejo, Commissioner Antonio T. Co. Jr. Congratulations, Senator Pia Cayetano. I forgot.
All right, to the family and friends of Senator Pia Cayetano, please join her up on the stage for the photo op. Okay, thank you very much and congratulations. Moving on, our next elected senator to be proclaimed is Senator-elect Bongo. To proclaim and present to him the certificate of proclamation, may I call on the Honorable Chairman Sharif Abbas to please proceed to the front.
National Board of Canvassers, we, the Chairman and Commissioners of the Commission on Elections, sitting and bank as the National Board of Canvassers, do hereby proclaim Christopher Lawrence T. Go as Senator-elect in May 13, 2019 national and local elections to serve for a term of 6 years ending June 30, 2025 in accordance with Section 4, Article 6 of the Constitution of the Republic of the Philippines, done this 22nd day of May 2019 at the Philippine International Convention Center, City of Pasay, Philippines. Signed, Chairman Sharif Abbas. Signed, Commissioners Al Pareño, Louis Tito Guia, Marueno Amelia Guanzon, Socorro Inting, Marlon Casquejo, and Antonio Tico Jr. Congratulations.
All right. Thank you very much, sir. Again, thank you very much, sir, and congratulations. Next to be formally proclaimed is Senator-elect Grace Poe. For this purpose, may I call Commissioner Guia again to the front of the stage.
we, the chairman and commissioners of the Commission on Elections, sitting unbanked as the National Board of Canvassers, do hereby proclaim Mary Grace Natividad S. Paul Yamanzares as Senator in the May 13, 2019 national and local elections to serve for a term of 6 years ending June 30, 2025 in accordance with Section 4, Article 6 of the Constitution of the Republic of the Philippines, done this 22nd day of May 2019 at the Philippine International Convention Center, City of Pasay, Philippines. Signed, Chairman Sheriff M. Abbas, Commissioners Al A. Pareño, Louis Tito F. Guia, Maria Rowena Amelia V. Guanzon, Socorro B. Inting, Marlon S. Casquejo, Antonio T. Co. Jr. Congratulations.
To the family and friends of Senator Grace Poe, please join her up on the stage for the picture taking. Okay, thank you very much and congratulations. All right, last but definitely not the least, to be proclaimed is Senator-elect Cynthia Villar. To administer her proclamation and present to her the certificate of proclamation, may I please request Chairman Abbas to go to the front of the stage, sir?
National Board of Canvassers, we, the Chairman and Commissioners of the Commission on Elections, sitting unbanked as the National Board of Canvassers, do hereby proclaim Cynthia A. Villar as Senator-elect in the May 13, 2019 national and local elections to serve for a term of 6 years ending June 30, 2025 in accordance with Section 4, Article 6 of the Constitution of the Republic of the Philippines. Done this 22nd day of May 2019 at the Philippine International Convention Center, City of Pasay, Philippines. Signed, Chairman Abbas, Commissioners Al A. Pareño, Louis Tito F. Guia, Marowena Amelia Guanzon, Socorro Inting, Marlon S. Casquejo, and Antonio T. Co. Jr. Congratulations.
Okay, to the family and friends of Senator Cynthia Villar, please join her on stage for the picture taking. Okay, thank you very much and congratulations. At this point, I will now give the floor to Senator Cynthia Villar, who, as noted earlier, garnered the highest number of votes, to share with us all her message. Senator Villar.
Magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat. Ito ay speech na to is in behalf of the 12 newly elected senators of the Philippines. We want to thank, first of all, and acknowledge COMELEC Chair Sheriff Abbas. Palakpakan po natin siya. COMELEC Commissioners Rowena Guanzon, okay. Commissioner Socorro Anting, okay. Commissioner Al Pareño, Commissioner Louis Tito de Guia, Commissioner Marlon Casquejo, and Commissioner Antonio Co Jr. Okay. And of course, I wish to acknowledge our senators, Senators Grace Po, palakpakan po natin siya, Senator Sani Angara, Senator Coco Pinimtel, and Senator Nancy Pinay. And the Senator-elect who will join us in the Senate, Senator-elect Bongo, Senator-elect Pia Cayetano, Senator-elect Ronald De La Rosa, Senator-elect Lito Lapid, Senator-elect Amy Marcos, Senator-elect Francis Tolentino, Senator-elect Bong Revilla. And our distinguished guests, COMELEC officials and personnel, our family and friends from the media, guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Una sa lahat, gusto ko pong pasalamatan ang aking pamilya, si Manny, si Paulo, Mark, and Camille. Siyempre, kasama rin sa gusto kong pasalamatan ang aking mga staff, supporters at volunteers sa buong bansa na nakasama ko hindi lang sa nakaraang 90-day campaign kung hindi sa aking unang termino bilang senador. Maraming salamat. Malaking bahagi kayo ng aking achievement so far at victory in the last elections. We still have so much more to do in the next 6 years. I would like to acknowledge and thank in behalf of 9 re-elected senators and senators-elect for the endorsement and support President Rodrigo Duterte and his party, PDP Laban, for including us as guest senatorial candidates. Of course, thank you also to Mayor Inday Sara Duterte for her untiring support to us and the entire slate of hugpong ng pagbabago during the campaign. Thank you po sa kanilang mag-ama. Palakpakan po natin sila. Thank you also sa mga kasama ko sa Nationalista Party. Palakpakan po natin sila. And thank you and congratulations to all the winning candidates of Team HNP, PDP Laban, Nationalista, Lakas, MPC, UNA, LDP, and the Independents. Palakpakan po natin silang lahat. Higit sa lahat, maraming salamat sa mga botante na bumoto sa amin. Maraming salamat sa inyong tiwala. Makakaasa kayo na gagawin namin ang lahat ng aming makakaya para maibigay sa ating mga kababayan ang hanep na buhay sa pamamagitan ng mga panukalang batas, proyekto at mga programs na aming patuloy na isusulong. With all humility, I must say that we had a very productive first term, and I'm proud of what we have accomplished from 2013 until now, especially since, as many of you know, our first 6 years as senators is one not without many challenges. Napakaraming ring pagsubok, paninira at mga pasaring na alam naman natin na parang parte na ng politika dito sa ating bansa. But ever since, we have always been focused on the task at hand, our legislative priorities and our other advocacies. Kaya naman, naisulong natin ang mga kapakipakinabang na mga batas para sa ating mga kababayan, lalo na sa mga magsasaka at mangingisda bilang ako ang naging chairperson ng Senate Committee on Agriculture. Hangad kong ituloy ang mga naumpisahan na namin sa susunod naming termino. I also would like to take this opportunity to commend the Commission on Elections. Palakpakan po natin sila. For successfully conducting a general, peaceful, fair, and honest national and local elections. I'm aware that it was no easy feat given the amount of work involved, along with so many issues and concerns raised by the general public, the political parties, the candidates, and their avid supporters. And in this digital age, those tasks, issues, and concerns seem to be multiplied more than twice over. But those were met and matched by the hard work, dedication, and diligence that COMELEC displayed all throughout the campaign period. Canvassing and until the proclamation. It is also worth noting how you maintained an open line of communication with everyone. That is truly a testament to your transparency. So give yourselves a well-deserved pat on the back at palakpakan natin silang lahat. More than a month from now, in July, the 12 newly elected senators and the incumbent ones will convene for the start of the 18th Congress. My fellow senators and I have to bid goodbye to some of our colleagues, and we wish them well in their future endeavors. At the same time, we will welcome some new and not so new senators in our midst. Marami kasi sila ay returning senators. Palakpakan po natin sila. It is our prayer and hope that the new set of senators will be able to accomplish what we have set out to do and fulfill our promises to the voting public and set aside political differences. The Senate, or the entire Congress, after all, is a collegial body. Our legislative powers are vested in all the members as a collegial body. The laws we craft or legislate must consider all interests involved. A strong and independent Senate has always been our goal ever since. To end, I would like to lift some praises from the book of Ecclesiastes, that there is time for everything and a season for every activity under the heavens. Time to plant and a time to uproot, a time to tear down and a time to build, a time to scatter stones and a time to gather them, a time to search and a time to give up, a time to keep and a time to throw away, a time to tear and a time to mend, a time to be silent and a time to speak, a time to love and a time to hate, a time for war and a time for peace. Rest assured that we will really use our time in the Senate during our new term as your senators para lalo pang pag-itingin ang patuloy na pagsisilbi sa sambayanang Pilipino. So help us God. Maraming salamat po at magandang umaga sa inyong lahat.
Thank you very much, Senator Cynthia Villar, for that message. Now that all our senators-elect have been proclaimed and thus reached the end of our program, may I request the Commission Secretary, Attorney Diola, to please join me here to facilitate the carrying out of the remaining agenda of the NBOC.
Sorry. Your Honors, there are no other matter for the National Board of Canvassers, Your Honors.
The NBOC is hereby adjourned.
All rise.
May I request our newly elected senators to please go up the stage for the photo op with the members of the Commission and Bank.
Ang pagproklama sa 12 nanalong senador. Ang tawag sa kanila, Malu, ano pa rin, Senator-elect.
Senator-elect.
Kasi mag-oath-taking pa sila. I guess...
June 30 yung end ng 17th, 18th will commence noon.
June 30 then, yeah. They expire before 12, I guess. And...
Do not stand.
Yung 17th Congress expires at 12 noon. At pagkatapos nun, papasok ng 18th Congress. At ang nakikita nyo ay ang chairman ng COMELEC kasama ang mga commissioners. Gayon din ang 12 nanalong senador. Ulitin po natin, number 1, of course, is Cynthia Villar. Number 2 is Grace Poe. Number 3, Bongo. Number 4, Pia Cayetano. Number 5, Bato de la Rosa. Number 6, Sunny Angara. Number 7, Lito Lapid. Number 8, Amy Marcos. Number 9, Francis Tolentino. Number 10, Coco Pimentel. Number 11, Bong Revilla. At number 12, Nancy Binay. At natapos na, Malu, ang papel ng pag-canvass ng votes para sa 12 senador. And mamayang gabi, inaasahan naman ang pag-proclaim sa mga nanalong party list groups. And I believe there are about 61 seats, if I'm not mistaken. So again, your 12 senators that will... Ang sabi niya, Cynthia Villar, because she's number 1, siya nagbigay ng speech sa mga nagbabalik.
Oo, nagbabalik at mga
bagong senador. It was a lot of thank you, of course, from the one who won the most number, who garnered rather the most votes. That's Cynthia Villar, 25,283,727. Maganda naman dahil, Malu, lahat pinasalamatan niya, pati mga political parties.
Yeah, at saka she crossed the aisle, affiliate her party, the Nacionalista, and then she even admitted that they became guest candidates of PDP. Siguro ang napakahalaga, Pinky, nating makita in terms of context, nagsimula ang Pangulo noong 2016 na wala kang kasamang kapartido sa Senado at sa House. Ilan lang sa House? 3 lang yata. So ngayon, bumabalik ang 18th Congress kung saan kontrolado na niya ang Senado at marami siyang kasundo at kasama sa House. So where that will bring the legislative agenda is crucial in the next few days. Tsaka itong Senadong ito ang pinakamaraming babae.
Oo.
I think bumabalik tayo dun sa panahon ng Shahani,
Very
Rasul.
symbolic to, Malu, because lahat sila, of course, they're doing...
Look at Grace.
Grace po. Why? Because again, Grace po is running or ran as an independent, and Senator Nancy Binay also as an independent. Si Lito Lapid, of course, was also
independent.
So kung susumahin yan, you were telling me a while ago that obviously we have 9 administration, 9 ba?
9.
Sila, no? And you were saying that this is a first kasi you consider this a sweep?
Oo, it's a sweep considering there was no opposition winner. So yung independent can be classified as part, hindi siya opposition technically.
Pero hindi din siya administration.
Hindi rin siya administration, but hindi siya hindi siya pumuna, hindi siya pumukol sa administrasyon.
Hindi siya maingay na
Oo, yung kampanya nilang
critical.
dalawa, o nung tatlo, hindi critical sa administrasyon. So, constructive. So, makikita mo, it has been 81 years, 1938, second Philippine Congress, kung saan isang partido lang ang nanalo, o isang grupo lang ang nanalo. So, sa akin ang pinakamahalaga doon, maraming kakampi ngayon si Pangulo. Ngayon, kung saan, kanina napapag-usayan, yung frame na yan.
Senator Coco, Senator-elect Bongo, Senator-elect Bato de la Rosa, at si Senator-elect Francis Tolentino, sila yung, di ba, meron silang sariling team kasama si Pangulo na talagang inendorso ni Pangulo. On top of the others na inendorso pa rin niya. Pero sabi mo nga kanina, very interesting, of course, si Senator-elect Bongo and si Senator-elect Bato de la Rosa.
Yung barometro ngayon ng Senado, titingnan, nasan ba yung tatlo? On a given issue. Sa baba, sa House, nasan ba si Pulong? Kasi si Pulong is not even running for the Speaker, and yet he would be the de facto.
Because ngayon, medyo magulo ang sino ba?
Kung speaker, no?
Ang upong speaker. Dahil nga it's the... Well, of course, Speaker Gloria Macapagal-Arroyo is retiring.
Right.
And so, a number of names have been floated, but that's another story. You have the Romuald, marami dyan. So, hindi pa natin alam at sinong i-field ng mga sari-sariling partido. Again, yan po ang 12 nanalong senador. Si Senator Nancy Binay, I'm sure, obviously very happy because nga, ang lamang niya kay Senator J.V. Capua, re-election as senator, was, is rather about 200, probably 200 to 300,000. That's why the COMELEC had to wait for all the certificates of canvass before proclaiming all 12 senators. Dapat nangyari yan kagabi, pero dahil nga sa mga COC sa Saudi Arabia at sa Washington, ay hindi natuloy ang proclamation last night. Now, looking forward, how do you see this new Senate? Because kanina we talked about it, there's only 4 opposition. Yung isa pa is Senator Laila De Lima, who is detained at the moment. So you only have 3. And when you think about it, dun sa tatlo, 2 lang talaga ang LP. Because Senator Risa Ontiveros is an Akbayan senator. How do you foresee the incoming 18?
Sa tingin ko, katulad na sinabi ni Senator Drilon, hindi sila nanghihingi ng committee. Maghihintay sila. Very interesting yung mangyayari sa paghalal ng Senate President, kung sino man yan.
Are you still thinking that posibleng hindi maging si Tito Soto
Sa tingin ko, kasi si Senator Tito Sen nag-publicly endorse ng re-election eh. So malaking bagay yan. Unang nangyari sa kasaysayan, dati wala namang sitting Senate President na nagpa-publicly endorse. But he did that. Panfilo Lacson cross party lines, endorsing BAM and endorsing JV.
Correct.
So you see these two Senator Gringo will be ending his term by June 30. He might go to the ICT. So makikita mo yung triumvirate ng tatlo. Medyo yung isa nasa executive. Will Senator Villar want it?
Bakit may lumalabas na ganyan na usapan na magkakaroon ba ng woman Senate President?
For the record yan, first Senate President na babae. Will she push for it? That's another one because technically by thanking everyone, she has put together a coalition that is very strong.
So, kailangang bantayan rin yan. Although there was a recent interview of the Senate President, sabi nga nila, magkakaroon na ng napag-usapan na mga komite, which it's not unusual naman, di ba? So, you have someone like Bongo, Senator-elect Bongo, who will possibly head the Committee on Health.
Because of the malasakit, that campaign on health. And I think they're going to put malasakit centers in every region.
Yan ang gagawin nila.
So, it would help the universal health care. So, yung implementation nun mapapadali.
And then you have, nagbabalik. Si Senator Lito Lapid.
Si Senator Lito Lapid is technically an NPC member. So, kung sa bilangan, kung magkaroon ng girian sa Senate President, I think he will go with Soto.
All right. Our Trisha Terada, naroon pa rin siya sa PICC. Trisha, what do you have for us? Nag-aalisa na mga senador, Trisha. At nagbibigay ng mga interviews. Trisha?
O, Pinky, sa mga oras na to, naglalabasan na nga ang mga senador at inaantabayan na natin dahil sa ilang minuto lang ay magkakaroon ng haharap sa media ang ilang mga senador para sa isang press conference. At ayun nga, Pinky, formal lang na proklama ang 12 senators-elect natin. At kasama nila karamihan ng kanilang mga pamilya. Pero kapansin-pansin yung ilan, halimbawa sina top 5 na si Bato de la Rosa, nakasama niya ang kanyang pamilya at ilang opisyal na mga general mula sa Philippine National Police. Ganon din naman si Bongo na tanging walang kasamang pamilya o supporter ng humarap after ng proklamasyon. At kanina nakausap natin yung ilan sa mga senators-elect natin, kagaya na nga ni dating Governor Amy Marcos na sinabi na magiging prioridad niya ang agrikultura at pag-ibsan sa kahirapan daw ng mga mamamayan. At nabanggit niya nga rin na hindi na siya nababahala sa mga puna tungkol sa kanilang pamilya dahil sanay na rin siya. At nung tinanong siya kung anong pakiramdam habang nagbibilang ng boto ay sinabi niya nga na kinabahan siya dahil natakot daw siya mabongbong na kagaya nga daw umano nang nangyari sa kanyang kapatid. At nakausap din natin kanina si Grace Po na nabanggit na kung magkakaroon siya ng pagkakataon, this time ang pipiliin niyang komite ay yung sa Blue Ribbon Committee dahil naniniwala siya na kailangan maging independent ito. Pero yan ay kung papayagan siya ng kasalukuyang chairman ng Blue Ribbon Committee na si Dick Gordon. Nakausap din natin kanina si Senator Bato de la Rosa na tuwang-tuwa na siya daw ay senador na finally. At ngayon, nakikita natin siya, sa mga tao, dinudumog siya at nagpapa-picture sa kanya. Isa pa sa nakausap natin ay si Chairman Francis Tolentino na ngayon nga ay Senator-elect na rin na nabanggit na isusulong niya yung mga nabanggit niyang batas para nga daw sa environment at pagresponde sa natural disasters. Muli siyang kinakausap ngayon ng mga kasamahan natin sa media. Si Senator Sonny Angara, nakausap din natin kanina at nabanggit niya nga na yung mga problema ang kinaharap dito sa eleksyon na ito, yung mga glitches kagaya ng dispalenghadong vote counting machines, SD cards. At yun nga, sabi niya nga sa COMELEC, magkikita daw sila sa hearing o investigasyon na mangyayari sa June 4. At ngayon nga, busy-busy ang lahat, no? Kanya-kanyang picture taking. Kasi sinubukan natin, isa sa mga unang dumating din kasi si Bong Revilla na kausapin, pero umiwas siya sa media. At ngayon, susubukan ulit natin siyang makapanayam. Ganoon din si Lito Lapid, sinubukan nating makausap pero hindi nga siya nagpa-unlock ng kahit anong interview bukod sa nagpasalamat siya sa mga bumoto sa kanya. Pinky?
Trisha, sige, lapitan mo sila. Tingnan natin. Baka meron kang makausap. Isa sa, a couple of them dun sa mga nanalo na 12 senador. You'll stay on the line, and as soon as you have someone, baka naman magbigay sila ng maiksing panayam sa atin dito sa CNN Philippines. So, gaya ng sabi ni Trisha, ayan, si Senator-elect Francis Tolentino, let's remember that during the last elections, natalo siya. Let's listen in.
Sir, how do you answer allegations na rubber stamp yung Senate? Kasi dominant yung Duterte ally.
The Senate should always be viewed as an institution, not the individual members. Mag-uusap kayo.
Thank you. Ano po yung unang plano po natin na gagawin po natin? Babalikan yung mga batas na i-implement at saka i-file. Bong! Sir, Bong! Sir! Request tayo sa amin.
Of course, as expected, we're trying to get as many people to talk to, just to get, of course, their comments and yung kanilang pasasalamat sa mga botante at sa kanilang mga staff, sa lahat ng tumulong sa kanila para manalo at makapasok sa 18th Congress. It's also... we have Senator-elect Bato de la Rosa on the line. Senator-elect, magandang tanghali po sa inyo.
Magandang tanghali sa iyo, Pinky, at sa ating mga nagkapanood, nagkapakinig. Magandang hapon po.
Kamusta, sir?
Umaga pa.
Sir, how are you? Kamusta?
Masaya. At least na-proclaim na tayo na winner.
Opo. You know, nung umakyat po sa stage, nakita namin ang dami niyong kasama, inyong mga mista. At kahit si Secretary Delphine Lorenzana, kasama kayo sa stage, sir?
Oo, kasi wala yung pamilya ko eh. Pabago-bago kasing date ng proclamation. Tapos akyat ako doon. Kasama ko lang yung isang anak ko na dalaga. Tinawag ko sila. Sabi ko sa banyo ko dito. Pakyat rin naman si Isende, si Chipinpe, at si RT Serpio, yung mga ibang kaibigan. So, masaya tayo sa stage.
Aha. Sir, ang balita nga po, sabi ni Senate President Tito Soto, mukhang mag-give way si Senator Ping Lacson, papakawalan yung public order and illegal drugs. At ibibigay daw sa inyo yung komite?
Yun yung sinabi niya nung last na nag-usap kami. Ibigay doon niya sa akin yung pamamana doon niya sa akin yung committee, yung public order and legal drugs.
Sir, makikiusap lang ho ako sa inyo dahil nakatalikod po kayo sa camera namin. Ayan kayo. Ayan na. Hello, sir. Ayan, nakikita ko po kayo. All right, thank you for facing us, sir. So, ang nangyari, sabi mo, tatanggapin po ninyo si Illegal Drugs Committee, sir?
Yun ang sabi ni Senator Lacson na ipamana doon niya sa akin. So, I'm so happy na pinagkatiwalaan niya ako na kaya kong hawakan yung komitiba na yan. Nagpapasalamat po ako.
That's such a big move for Senator Ping Lacson. Sabi nga ng iba, napaka-gentleman daw ni Senator Ping Lacson para pakawalan yon at ibigay sa inyo. Given that you possibly will chair that, Senator-elect, ano ho una niyong gagawin? Naisip niyo na ho ba?
Kung ano yung nag-conduct ako ng mga hearings, you know?
Opo, in order to chair the Public Order and Illegal Drugs Committee, meron ho ba kayo naiisip na kailangan ninyong gawin or any hearing that you, I know it's still soon, ano, pero is there anything in the pipeline na meron kayong gustong pagtuunan ng pansin?
Ito nga, yung pag-improve ng disiplina ng PNP. Naghanap ko ng paano ma-strengthen yung internal cleansing program ng PNP dahil alam ko marami pa tayong dapat gawin dyan. So, yun, magkukonsulta ako sa kanila. Ano pang pwede natin baguhin. At meron din akong alam na dapat ayusin dyan.
Well, sir, maraming salamat at good luck po sa inyo. Ang inyong official na trabaho ay sa June 30.
30.
Opo.
Yeah.
So, sandali, sir, ngayon, pahinga ho ba kayo? Ano ho bang gagawin niyo from now on till June 30?
Pahinga muna at the same time, yung mga yung marami nag-open sa akin na mga universities na turuan doon lang ako sa trabaho ko pagka-senador. So, pipila ako doon kung saan ako kasi halos lahat nag-offer, titignan ko. At the same time, I will do my own research.
Okay, Senator-elect, sanay na ho ba kayo? Senator-elect Bato de la Rosa. Sir, maraming salamat po sa inyo.
Maraming salamat, Sir Pinky.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Malu, last words on maybe let's take off tayo dun sa sinasabing rubber stamp itong magiging Senado. Yung kritisismo or yung siguro threat or pangamba ng ilan?
Sa tingin ko naman, institutionally, the Senate has proven itself. Despite nakaalyado ka ng Pangulo, na nakaupong Pangulo, hindi sila bumibigay dahil by tradition, very independent sila. Kung sakaling merong kang kaalyado doon sa bilangan, nag-iiba. Yung majority is a moving majority depending on the issue.
So, naniniwala ka na magiging independent ka rin
naniniwala ako na magiging independent.
Senado na 18th Congress sa pagdating ng June 30. Malu, maraming salamat sa iyo. Thank you so much. At doon po sa mga gusto pang panoorin ito, please log on to our Facebook account. We'll carry that live. Yung nangyayari.
This is Newsnight, where we go above and beyond the headlines. I'm Pia Ontiveros. Our top stories: 12 new senators finally proclaimed after more than a week of canvassing and delays because of technical glitches and election fraud charges. The Commission on Elections will soon proclaim the winning party list groups in the recently concluded midterm elections. This morning, poll officials proclaimed the 12 new senators for the 18th Congress. Our Trisha Tabata joins us live from the Philippine International Convention Center in Pasay City. Trisha?
Yes, Pia, we are an hour away before the COMELEC on-bank sitting as the National Board of Canvassers proclaims the winners for the party list race. There are 61 seats up for grabs, but let me tell you about that in a bit. For now, let's go back to what happened this morning as the COMELEC on-bank already announced the winners for the senatorial race.
Commission on Elections, sitting unbanked as the National Board of Canvassers hereby declared the following candidates as the duly elected senators of the Republic of the Philippines.
After a number of postponements, winning senatorial candidates finally have their big day. A little over a week, COMELEC has finally proclaimed 12 senators elect. Administration allies dominated the list. Senator Cynthia Villar taking the lead, garnering with over 25 million votes. Independent candidate Grace Poe slides to second. Ex-presidential aide Bongo is third. Joining them are Pia Cayetano, Bato de la Rosa, Sonny Angara, Lito Lapid, Amy Marcos, Francis Tolentino, Coco Pimentel, Bong Revilla, and Nancy Binay. It was a tight finish for the last slot, as the National Board of Canvassers had to wait for the final certificates of canvass from Saudi Arabia and the US that account for up to 500,000 votes.
Ang info sa akin, nung tinifeed yung LA, nasira yung SD card. So, during that feeding, parang inintay pa na inayos pa. So, yun, pinadala namin sila ng SD card. Fortunately, naging maayos yung pagka-canvas noon sa LA. Kasi bago mo siya kukunin, ang LA pupunta sa LA, and then yung LA pupunta ng embassy sa Washington. It takes at least 5 hours bago siya pupunta doon sa Washington.
Re-elected Senator Nancy Binay admits it was a tension-packed wait.
Parang fourth time to give birth. Kasi nga yung waiting na alam mo naman na may lalabas na maganda, pero hindi mo alam kung kailan siya lalabas.
Meanwhile, the Commission on Elections faces even bigger troubles in this midterm elections. Among them, defective cards and vote counting machines, bleeding marking pens, plus delays in the transmission of election data.
Walang dayaan. Kung meron mang glitches, which is natural, meron at meron yan. Hinihingian namin ng paumanhin sa mga tao kung halimbawa merong mang naantala, kasi talagang normal yun.
COMELEC assures the public it will hold suppliers accountable if they are found lacking. COMELEC Chairman Sharif Abbas says they're ready to face a Senate investigation on the glitches.
We stand for the credibility of the elections. Makikita nyo naman yan. Mafe-feel ng tao at makikita nila kung talagang may dayaan o wala.
Dapat talaga bantayan na yon dahil parang mas marami talagang insidente nung mga malfunctioning PCOS machines. No? I think marahil dahil sa wear and tear, something we have to look into going forward for the next election.
Even before the proclamation fully comes to a close, COMELEC faces issues hounding the party list system.
It doesn't represent yung mga marginal sector. Ang sumali dyan, mga bilyonaryo na. Kaya na-out yung mga marginalized. Ganun yung mga issues. Okay? But as far as COMELEC is concerned, ang aming concern dyan is more on the registration, accreditation, and then yung pagpaproclaim ng party list.
Yung Korte Suprema ang nagsasabi talaga, at least, especially in the recent history of the party list law, nagkakabali-baliktad din naman yung mga decisions dyan. In some years, sinasabi kailangan talagang may cause. Yung iba naman sinasabi kailangan talaga marginalized. But the latest pronouncement of the Supreme Court is what controls.
Meantime, COMELEC says the elections was generally successful with a voter turnout of 75.9% or 46.9 million.
Well, Pia, again, there are 61 seats available up for grabs for the party list race. And as of 5 this afternoon, 51 made it to the cut. Let me read to you the top 10. First on the list is Axis, followed by Bayan Muna, Ako Bicol, Sibak, Ang Probinsyano, Juan Pacman, Marino, Probinsyano Ako, Senior Citizens, and Magsasaka. Pia.
Trisha, how is COMELEC going to distribute these 61 seats among the 51 winning party list groups? And 51 for now, right? Baka madagdagan pa kasi ito.
Yes, Pia, based on the party list law, those who will get 2% of the total voter turnout for the party list race will get one guaranteed seat. So let's do this by a round. So that's round 1. There will be a round 2, and that will be based now on those who will be getting votes or that are more than 2%. So for example, in this case, the party list voter turnout is at 28 million. So 2% of that is 560,000. So for these elections, those who got at least 560 votes are guaranteed one seat. So if they get the votes higher than 2%, they can get a second or third seat. That's for round 2. For example, in this case, Axis got 9% of the total number of votes. So because they can't get automatically 9 seats, they will get the maximum number of allowed seats. That's 3 seats for Axis. Now, there will be a round 3 if in case all the 61 seats aren't filled in yet. Now, this will be distributed in descending order among the party lists that earned votes near 2% until all seats are actually filled out. Pia?
Yeah, Trisha, isang pahabol na tanong na lang, may decision na ba ang Comelec and Bank as the NBOC kung ano yung magiging hakbang or action nila about the Duterte Youth Party List?
Pia, hanggang ngayon nag-iintay pa rin tayo ng sagot ng Unbank dahil pagkatapos kanina ng proklamasyon ng senatorial winners, hindi pa rin nadedesisyonan ng Comelec Unbank itong kaso ng Duterte Youth. Kaninang as of 5 p.m. ganun pa rin yung sagot nila sa atin. Hanggang ngayon sinasabing kasalukuyan pa rin dinedesisyonan ng Comelec Unbank yung sitwasyon ng Duterte Youth. At yan nga, isang oras na lang yung malapit na yung proklamasyon. Pia?
Trisha Terada there reporting live from the PICC. Now, senatorial candidates who did not make it to the Magic 12 remain thankful and optimistic. In a series of tweets, outgoing Senator J.V. Ejercito, who ranked 13th in the final tally, said it was an honor to serve Filipinos as a senator. He said he will, quote, walk away from the Senate with my integrity intact. He also asked his supporters not to be sad, saying, quote, andito lang po ang good one, patuloy na nagmamahal sa inyong lahat. Now, the good one, a reference to his television ad that observers say was directed at his half-brother, Jinggoy Ejercito Estrada. After failing in his re-election bid, opposition Senator Bam Aquino says he will continue to help the public in other ways. He also thanks all those who he worked with for the past 6 years and those who helped in his campaign. Erin Tanyada, hopeful the new senators will focus on the needs of the public. Tanyada, who is also the vice president of the Liberal Party, says they will continue to fight in 2022.
We will not crumble. As a matter of fact, we faced the dictatorship in the 1970s and 80s. The Liberal Party did not crumble. So we will continue. Kailangan rin pag-isipan. I think this is important. If LP will coalesce also with another political party for the 2020.
Who's possible right now to coalesce with?
Hindi ko nga alam.
Former Senator Mar Rojas, in a statement, says the result was, quote, disappointing and sad. He went on to say he is uncertain about what comes next, but urges the public to learn and work some more. He adds, quote, the country the country continues to need us and our best efforts. Netizens are talking about the moment winning senators posed for a photograph during their proclamation, most of them doing President Duterte's signature fist bump, except for 2 re-elected senators, Grace Poe and Nancy Binay. Marjun says he thinks Poe and Binay are doing the right thing. He describes them as senators of the country and not of President Duterte. Dwight De Leon says it is a twist of fate that people ended up rooting for Binay. Ali says it appears the Makabayan bloc was right to vouch for the independence of Poe and Binay. Good job, he says. However, this Facebook user says, quote, alam na kung sino na naman ang pasaway. But for this netizen, suggesting a plot twist, saying Poe and Binay only got lost for a moment and that there was a take 2 for that shot. Now, 5 of the 12 winning senators are first-timers. What are their plans and what can people expect from them? Our Joyce Ila says that report.
It was a joyful occasion for 4 first-time senators-elect. Bongo, Bato de la Rosa, Aimee Marcos, and Francis Tolentino will begin their term at noon of June 30th.
Senador na ako. Masaya ako. Senador na.
Senate President Tito Soto earlier said De La Rosa has expressed interest in leading the Committee on Public Order. The committee previously probed alleged irregularities in the war on drugs. As former National Police Chief, De La Rosa has led the bloody drug war, but he sees no problem if he leads the committee.
Anong conflict doon? Senador naman ako. Bawal?
Sir,
saan ako active ako na si PNP, tapos mag-committee ako dyan, bawal, ay hindi maganda.
Former Special Assistant to the President Bongo wants to lead the committees on health and education and be part of the Committee on Peace and Order to help push President Duterte's anti-illegal drugs and anti-criminality campaign. Go has been with President Duterte for the longest time, and he vows to prove this long-standing alliance in the Senate.
Bakit mukha ba akong rubber stamp? Senador po ako. So, wala pong rubber stamp dito sa Senado. At ako, susuportahan ko po si Pangulong Duterte sa lahat ng kanyang mga legislative agenda.
Meanwhile, another Marcos will enter the Senate in June. Aimee Marcos says 60 years ago, her father, the late dictator Ferdinand Marcos, became a senator for the first time.
Alam niyo, napakadami na ng pinagdaanan namin. Hindi na namin inaalala yung vindication. So lahat ng mga basher, mga hater, yung mga galit sa amin, wag na kayong matakot sa akin kasi hindi naman ako mapaghigante. Gagawa lang tayo ng trabaho.
Marcos wants to lead the Committee on Social Welfare and also be a member of the Committees on Agriculture, Finance, and Local Government. She believes her experience as Ilocos Norte governor make her fit for the positions. Former presidential political advisor Francis Tolentino just hired 2 bar top-notchers from Cebu to be part of his Senate staff. But Tolentino withholds comment on his preferred committee.
Mag-uusap pa kasi yung partido eh. So, mag-uusap pa yung PPP, mag-uusap pa yung HNP, si Mayor Inday, yung aming party chairman. So, ayoko naman pangunahan yung pag-uusapan ba lang.
Aside from the 4 neophytes, 3 former senators are returning this 18th Congress: Bong Revilla, Lito Lapid, and Pia Cayetano. 5 senators got re-elected: Cynthia Villar, Grace Poe, Sonny Angara, Nancy Binay, and Coco Pimentel. Joyce Ila, CNN Philippines.
We now go above and beyond the headlines with Senator Nancy Binay. Good evening, ma'am, and thank you for taking our call.
Good evening, Ms. Pia, and good evening to all your televiewers.
Congratulations po sa inyo, ma'am. Well, before anything else, are you aware that you and Senator Grace Poe have taken social media by storm dahil doon sa photograph ninyong 12 newly elected senators?
Yeah, medyo nabasa naman natin yung mga comments that hindi nga kami nag-fist bump ni Senator Grace Poe.
Oo. Bakit daw? Bakit ba?
On my part, diba, I am not part of PDP Laban, nor am I part of Hugpong. So, parang why would I make the
Why would you do
sign of
that?
the party that I don't belong to?
Oo. Tapos, ang ginawa nyo na lang po was you were pointing your finger upwards, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Kasi parang they were all making signs. So, for me, plus kasi I'm part of UNA, that's the side of my party.
UNA, the party that your father created. But,
yes.
Okay, and then, there was one netizen. Well, of course, there was a lot of praise. There was also, criticism. One of them, netizens, so I was reading comments earlier, yung isa sabi daw, alam na natin kung sino yung pasaway, and then there were a lot of praise also. Tapos may isa na nagsabing, baka may plot twist, baka nag-take 2 at saka kayo nag-fist bump. Pero walang take 2 ng photo na yon, right?
There was no take two.
Yeah, okay.
I didn't really make the fist bump.
Yeah. So how did you feel, Senator Binay, in past elections, you did better than you did this time around? You came in at number 12. Still, of course, re-elected kahit pa paano, no? Pero ngayon, number 12, dati hindi naman number 12. Not that low in the rankings. How did you feel about that, and what do you think caused that?
Well, number one, when I ran during last 2013, the situation was totally different. Diba? My dad was, yung attack against my family didn't start yet then. So, kumbaga, I knew that it was going to be an uphill battle for me. running for election kasi nga nabugbog yung pangalan namin during the 2016 election.
Okay. And this time around, of course, 2019, the political climate a little bit different. And also, there was that, internal, not really internal, no? Kasi it was so out in the open, no? That squabble sa pamilya ninyo, right?
Yeah, I guess, di ba, parang it was a combination of different things. One, there was personal issues that kind of affected in my campaign, and then it was also difficult on my part na I was not part of a slate. Technically, parang I was running as an independent, even if parang I belong to a political party.
How are you going to be working moving forward, no, in the 18th Congress? Like you said, you ran as an independent. You don't belong to the president's political party. Earlier today, there was a lot of observation on what is the Senate going to be like with so many allies of President Duterte there. Is it going to be, may mga nagsabi pa nga at may nag-react din, ano, sa ilan sa mga kasamahan nyo sa Senado na baka maging rubber stamp, pero may nagsabing hindi naman na magiging independent institution din ng Senado. What do you think of that?
Yung past 6 years ko in the Senate, I've parang experienced working under 2 different presidents. And nakita ko in the Senate, talagang meron kaming kanya-kanyang republic. And I've seen my colleagues at the end of the day, nagiging namin is what will be best for our people and not because we belong to a certain party or we are beholden to the president.
Very briefly about local politics. Your father, of course, ran in the 1st Congressional District of the city of Makati. He lost to Kid Peña, who took over from your brother, Junjun, when he was removed temporarily from the mayoralty post. How did your father take that?
Well, I guess parang he's kind of moving forward. He's going back to his old routine. So I don't know, he might go back to teaching or at the moment, hindi pa namin napag-uusapan kung ano yung next move on his part.
At hindi pa kayo nag-uusap ni Abby?
Hindi pa din. Not yet.
Siguro
give us time. Give us time.
Yeah, you said that before election day. I remember. But anyway, just...
yung personal namin, it will take time.
Okay. Senator Binay, also, just one last thing. Dun sa fist bump photograph, paano nga ba nangyari yon? Kayo-kayo lang ba? Kasi all 12 of you were lined up there, no? Para bang nagkayayaan ba? Or yung nagsabihan ba? O mag-fist bump tayo, tapos ganunan lahat? How did it happen?
Parang, I don't know. I think kasi on the other side, nandun kasi sila Senator Bongo, sila Senator Pato. I think they started doing the fist bump. And then, sumunod na si Senator Villar. Then, they all followed.
Which
so
is
I was on the other end. I was on the other end. So
yes,
parang when I saw them doing it, I,
Yeah. Which is
but nobody, like, I was beside
wala
Senator
naman
Coco.
nagsabi,
Hindi naman niya ako sinabihan na mag-fist bump ka. I mean, he did ask me to do that.
Parang, well, among colleagues siguro, di ba? Parang, mag-fist bump tayo. Parang gano'n, ano? Parang ito sa very spontaneous.
Kasi I think siguro nasanay na din sila na parang pag may picture taking, they will do the fist bump.
Tapos nakalimutan nila, ay, hindi pala natin kapartido yung iba rito.
Nila nasa campaign. Or it was just an ordinary picture taking.
Okay. Nakalimutan lang nila Senator-elect na pala sila. Tapos na pala yung kampanya.
But they are part of the party of the president.
Yes.
And it's just common for them to do the fist bump side. But I'm hoping that yung magiging stand naman nila in the Senate would at the end of the day, what will be good for the people and not because it will be good for one person.
Okay. And speaking of one person, may balita na ba tungkol sa Senate presidency? Si Tito Soto pa ba o Magbabago pa ba yan?
Yes.
So far.
As far as I'm concerned, si Senator Soto will still be the Senate President. I think he still has the numbers in the Senate.
All right. Senator Nancy Binay, thank you very much and congratulations again, ma'am.
Thank you, Ms. Tia.
That's it for now. See you at 7 for a special edition of Newsnight, where we will bring you live pictures of the COMELEC's proclamation of the winning party list groups. I'm Pio Ontiveros. This is a special edition of Newsnight, where we go above and beyond the headlines. I'm Pio Ontiveros. At this hour, the Commission on Elections is expected to proclaim the winning party list groups. You're seeing live pictures from the Philippine International Convention Center in Pasay City, where the COMELEC, as the National Board of Canvassers, has completed the canvassing of votes in the midterm elections. Now, earlier in the day, and we're going to bring up those live pictures in just a bit, the COMELEC proclaimed the 12 new centers for the 18th Congress. The Commission on Elections earlier announced the top 10 winning party list groups. These are ACT-CIS, Bayan Muna, Ako Bicol, SIBAC, ACT-CIS. I'm sorry, ACT-CIS. Let's go back to the list. SIBAC, ang Probinsyano, One Pacman, Marino, Probinsyano Ako, Senior Citizens, and Magsasaka. Again, the Commission on Elections to proclaim the winning party list groups. Our Trisha Terada is there on the ground. Trisha, what's happening there?
Yes, Pia, the announcement or proclamation of winners for the party list race is supposedly set at 7 p.m., but it doesn't look like it's going to start anytime soon. But seats are quickly filling in. Again, there are 61 seats up for grabs for party list bets, but as of 5 p.m., only 51 made it to the cut. As to the number of nominees allocated per party list, we have yet to find out from COMELEC, and up to this point, there are still substantive issues that the COMELEC on bank need to address. One of that is the substitution issue in the case of the Duterte Youth party list. Because if we remember, former National Youth Commissioner Ronald Cardema filed a petition to replace his wife as the first nominee of the Duterte Youth. And up to this point, we haven't heard yet from the on-bank as to what the decision would be. They've been deciding on that for days now, and earlier, as at 12 this noontime, they don't have any decision on that yet. 5 p.m. still no word. That's the last time that we saw. We were able to speak someone from COMELEC. That's spokesperson James Jimenez. We will give you an update on that. But a few minutes before we went on the air, we already saw former Commissioner Cardema entering the plenary, the PICC grounds, where the proclamation will be taking place. We tried to get him on camera to get his side, to get more statements from him, but he evaded the media. But aside from him, there have been series of interviews going on here at the PICC, several interviews left and right as the different nominees from different party lists arrive. One of them, we spoke with One Pacman, the first nominee, Mikey Romero, and we were told here by some representatives or possible representatives that he could be the next president of the party list coalition. So we took the chance to actually ask him about the thoughts of the party list groups in general about the speakership. For now, they couldn't give us a clear consideration or criteria as to how they will pick the next, how they will vote on the next speaker. But Romero told us that tomorrow they will be convening as a group the group of party lists will come together, and they will be hearing the plans of, they have invited some of the candidates for the speakership, and they will be hearing their plans, and that's only when they will decide as to who they will pick. For now, he said that their priority would be depending on the plans of or the agenda of the candidates for speakership. Pia.
Yeah, Tricia, talk to us a bit more about Ronald Gardema and the Duterte Youth Party list groups. On May 12, the day before the elections, he filed an application to substitute for his wife. Earlier, before that, all 5 nominees of the Duterte Youth Party list withdrew their nominations, right? And then there's a whole slew of issues about revolving around this substitution by Mr. Gardema.
Yes, Pia, actually that's very controversial. A lot of people have been putting their thoughts in it. We have already Senator Panfilo Lacson calling out Gardema for creating a mockery out of the party list system. And from there stems also the thoughts of Chairperson Sharif Abbas earlier. And he opened to the media that the COMELEC on Bank is already planning to submit a proposal maybe after the elections. He said that to reform the party list, suggestions on how to reform the party list system, because they understand also that there are some things that need to be changed or needed to be improved with the party list system. Now, with regard to the case of Gardema substitution or petition for substitution, again, no word still from COMELEC on that. It's only Commissioner Rowena Guanzon who has been quite vocal about it in her social media accounts, questioning also, raising the issue also about his age, that for someone who is trying to nominate himself as a representative of a youth group, he or she should not be beyond 30 years old. That's one thing, that's one fact of the case that we have yet to clear and hear out from COMELEC. Now, aside from that, the schedule or the timing of the substitution is also being questioned. That's also one of the things that the OnBank is currently deciding on. Pia.
Yeah, Tricia, let's talk about that schedule. There was an earlier resolution that says that the deadline for substitution or filing for that substitution would have been November 29, 2018. But has there been a change to that which will allow Mr. Gardema to to be the substitute nominee for the Duterte Youth Party list group?
Well, Pia, there's really no exact clarification on that yet from COMELEC. That's true. There's the substitution for the deadline for substitution is November 28, 29. But earlier, from what we understand, this is only for national positions, like for example, for the senatorial race. There is another side to the story that substitution can be allowed until before the day of the elections, but that's one thing that COMELEC on Bank needs to shed light on still, Pia.
All right, and of course he filed that substitution or application for substitution on May 12, the day before the election. So, kumbaga, makakalusot siya doon, no? Although, yeah, questions about the youth. However, sinabi na nga niya, no, lumabas na yung kanyang explanation na hindi lang naman youth ang nire-represent ng Duterte Youth, but youth and professionals. Right. And he would fall under that category of professionals.
Yes, P, if we were to ask Commissioner Guanzon on that, and if we will base it on the tweets or the comments of Guanzon on her social media account, she did clarify that even though that's the defense of Gardema, the Duterte Youth as a party list has been registered as a youth organization. It did not say that it's not specifically registered as a group for young professionals. It's only a youth organization. Pia?
All right, but of course, like you earlier reported, Ronald Gardema is there at the PICC, so he must know something because he's present probably waiting for the proclamation. We're going to get back to you, Trisha Terada, in just a bit. Trisha Terada, they're reporting live from the PICC, where the COMELEC and Bank sits as the National Board of Canvassers. Expected that they're going to be proclaiming these party list groups. Earlier, James Jimenez, spokesman, had already said that there would be 51 plus party list groups that they would be proclaiming. And it depends on how, kung makaka 2% sila dun sa party list votes. Then if they reach the 2%, they get 1 seat, 4% a second seat. Then we're going to see how many nominees for each party list will get in at the very end. In the meantime, we're going to go above and beyond the headlines. Joining us here in the studio is Contra Daya convener Danilo Araw. Good evening, sir. Thank you for joining us.
Good evening. Happy to be here again.
Really? You're happy, huh? Well,
I'm happy to be here, but what we're going to talk about may not be so happy.
Okay, for you. Okay. Your group is against the substitution by Mr. Ronald Cardema for the Duterte Youth Party list group. However, Trisha was already explaining the many facets to this issue and kung ano yung mga pwedeng gamitin ni Mr. Cardema para siya nga yung maging nominee, first nominee ng Duterte Youth Party list group. What is your stand on this, and what have you heard? How will the COMELEC decide?
Well, first of all, the petition that we filed just early this week is basically to oppose the substitution of Cardema to become the first nominee, because that would entail the withdrawal of all 5
Which is
nominees.
what happened.
Which is what happened, yes. Anyway...
And among the 5 nominees is his wife, right?
Yes, that's correct. So the problem here, Pia, is that it's not just an issue of age. Because under the law, party list law, you should be between 25 to 30 years old. And he's now 33 or 34 years old, more than 30. Yes. So that's one problem. The second problem has to do with the irregularity by which it was done at the 11th hour. Because usually, if you want to be transparent, Pia, about the election system, you should be able to allow time for people to find out why there is that issue of people not being able to come and know what's happening. So that it is done at the 11th hour is highly questionable, even if it is, well, relatively on time, May 12, 5:30 p.m. Now, the other issue has to do with the unprecedented, and we have to put it on record, it's unprecedented that all 5 nominees would withdraw. In past jurisprudence, based on our legal research, maybe 2 or only 3 would withdraw, and it would be already questionable insofar as the COMELEC is concerned. But here we're talking of 5.
But if you look at the reasons that each of them gave, they have a variety of reasons.
Yes, there were a variety of reasons which I personally knew only today based on the sources that we have. Anyway, so that's one, and the other thing that we have to consider, Pia, is the quote-unquote, for lack of a better term, palusot that was done by the Duterte youth. They claim that they're not covered by the age requirement because they're supposedly representing the professionals. But please remember, the name of the party list group is Duterte Youth, and the full name is Duty to Energize the Republic through the Empowerment of the Youth Sectoral Party List Organization. Make no mistake about it, Pia, it is registered as a sectoral party. If you want to represent 2 sectors or more then that would make you a multi-sectoral party.
So you should have registered as a multi-sectoral.
Exactly. So that's one argument also. So, and besides, if you look at their campaigns, their programs of action, they make reference mainly to 2 things. Number 1, the youth. Empowerment of the youth, championing the cause of the youth. And the second is defending the government. As if the government is a marginalized sector. Maybe that's their perspective. So,
paano kung sabihin niya na among the professionals, may youth pa naman eh?
Yes, that's correct.
Diba?
Yes, that's correct.
I mean, if that is going to be their argument.
Yeah, that could be their argument. But then again, that will still make them a youth sector representative. And besides, the name, PIA, is Youth Sectoral Party List Organization. So, technically, they're supposed to be part of the youth, and perhaps that would partly explain also why they have taken pot shots against a certain progressive party list group that also represents the youth. They haven't taken pot shots at a professional.
Which certain progressive party list group
Kabataan
that
Party
represents
List.
the youth?
Yeah, Kabataan
that you're
Party
referring
List.
to.
So they've taken pot shots at Kabataan Party List because politically and in terms of social optics, they would want to position themselves to the youth sector as an alternative, allegedly, to Kabataan Party List. So therein lies the problem, Pia.
Okay, well, the proceedings at the PICC have begun, but we're going to go to that in just a bit. Medyo sound under lang natin because just one last question. Why is it so important for you to stop the substitution of Ronald Gardema?
Because it's highly irregular, number one. And number two, that has been their plan all along. So Gardema wants to have his cake and eat it too, because if he wanted to be the first nominee of Duterte Youth, then he should have done so during the campaign period, which would entail his resignation as NYC chair. And right now, Pia, we have to put on record again, May 12, 5:30 was their filing, so he's been resigned in the opinion of presidential spokesperson Sal Panelo. And yet, a few days after the election, at around May 15, so he still presided at an official meeting of NYC. So he didn't consider himself resigned. So that's the kind of political arrogance that we have to expose.
Yeah, so, and why is it so important for you to stop his entry into Congress?
It sets a dangerous precedent because other party list groups of the rich and powerful will get the same ideas. So the political dynasty, for example, would just end up fielding their own puppets.
Pero marami namang party list ang, yung mga nominees nila, panay, kung hindi ka mag-anat ng politiko, di ba? I mean, or mga mayayaman. In other words, many of them don't really fall under the, sabi ng mga kritiko, hindi naman daw talaga marginalized. No? So it's not like Mr. Gardema is the only one, or nothing new.
Yeah, but we have to single that out because what he's doing is something unprecedented. So if all 5 nominees would be allowed to withdraw, then that wouldn't prevent future party list groups from fielding, dummies, for lack of a better term, or puppets. And then when they win, and then when they think that they'll be winning, then they will just automatically withdraw, and then the real, quote-unquote, nominees will come in. So that's how you game the system, which I think should be duly exposed.
Yeah, all right. Well, of course, we're speaking about Ronald Gardema, who just the day before the elections had filed for a substitution for the Duterte Youth Party List Group after 5 of that party list group's nominees withdrew their certificates of nomination. The Duterte Youth, of course, one of the party list groups that, if allowed, will be winning some 1 or 2 seats in the House of Representatives. Let's listen in now to the proceedings at the PICC, where the NBOC is expected to proclaim these party list groups.
To everyone who assisted the Commission during this year's midterm elections, of course, we'd like to thank the members of the Armed Forces of the Philippines, the Philippine National Police, the National Bureau of Investigation and other law enforcement agencies, the Department of Education, the Department of Interior and Local Government, the Department of Energy, the Department of Health, and other departments deputized by the Commission, the Electoral Board, Citizens Arms, foreign observers, media watchers, and other stakeholders who actively participated in this electoral exercise. We would like also to acknowledge the efforts of all the Commission's employees and staff, most especially the field officers and members of the different working committees, including the committees and headed by Dr. Allen Abaya and the head of the Secretariat, Attorney Jola. Their hard work and dedication greatly helped the Commission in fulfilling its mandate. Also, we'd like to commend the senior staff of the Commission, the directors of the different departments, Deputy Executive Director for Administration, Director Helen Flores, Deputy Executive Director for Operations, Director Bartolome Sino Cruz, and of course, our beloved Executive Director, Director June Tolentino. With their exceptional brilliance, hard work, and determination, the Commission has once again been able to perform its duty of conducting electoral exercise. Taos-puso po kami nagpapasalamat at nagbibigay pugay sa lahat ng tumulong sa Komisyon at sa lahat na nagbantay ng halalan. Muli po, maraming salamat po sa inyong lahat.
Okay, Secretariat, what is the order of business for tonight?
Your Honor, after the opening address of Commissioner R.A. Pareño, next on the agenda is the reading of the proclamation of the party list winners for the 2019 national and local elections.
Please proceed.
In the matter of the canvass and proclamation of party list organizations and coalitions in connection with the May 13, 2019 national and local elections, NBOC Resolution Number 004-19, promulgated May 22, 2019. Whereas the Commission on Elections, sitting unbanked as the National Board of Canvassers for senators and party list representatives, officially canvassed in open and public session the votes cast for the party list system of representation in connection with the May 13, 2019 national and local elections. Now, therefore, by virtue of the powers vested in it under the 1987 Constitution, the Omnibus Election Code, and other election laws, and applying the rule in Banat versus Comelec, and on the basis of the tabulated National Canvass Report Number 8, and the allocation of party list seats using the Banat formula submitted by the Election Records and Statistics Department of the Commission and endorsed by the Supervisory Committee, the Commission on Elections, sitting unbanked as the National Board of Canvassers of Party List, hereby declares the following party list groups as winners in the party list elections of May 13, 2019, entitled to the total number of seats as indicated next to the respective names, to serve for a term of 3 years, beginning at noon of June 30, 2019, in accordance with Section 7, Article 6 of the 1987 Constitution. First, Act CIS with 3 seats. Bayan Muna with 3 seats. Ako, Bicol with 2 seats. Sibak with 2 seats. Ang Probinsyano with 2 seats. 1 Pacman with 2 seats. Marino, 2 seats. Probinsyano ako, 2 seats. Senior citizens, 1 seat. Magsasaka, 1 seat. APEC, 1 seat. Gabriela, 1 seat. Anwaray, 1 seat. Co-op Natco, 1 seat. ACT Teachers, 1 seat. PhilReca, 1 seat. Ako, Bisaya, 1 seat. Tingog Sinirangan, 1 seat. Abono, 1 seat. Buhay, 1 seat. Duterte Youth, 1 seat. Kalinga, 1 seat. PBA, 1 seat. Alona, 1 seat. Recoboda, 1 seat. BH Bagong Henerasyon, 1 seat. Bahay, 1 seat. CWS, 1 seat. Abang Lingkod, 1 seat. A teacher, 1 seat. BHW, 1 seat. Sagip, 1 seat. TUCP, 1 seat. Magdalo, 1 seat. GP, 1 seat. Manila Teachers, 1 seat. RAM, 1 seat. Anak Kalusugan, 1 seat. Ako, Padayon, 1 seat. Aambis OWA, 1 seat. Kusog Tausug, 1 seat. Damper PTDA, 1 seat. TGP, 1 seat. Patrol, 1 seat. Amin, 1 seat. Agap, 1 seat. LPGMA, 1 seat. OFW Family, 1 seat. Kabayan, 1 seat. Diwa, 1 seat. And Kabataan, 1 seat. So ordered, signed, Sheriff M. Abbas, Chairman. Signed, Al A. Pareño, Commissioner. Signed, Luis Tito F. Guia, Commissioner. Signed, Maria Ruena Amelia V. Guanzon, Commissioner. Signed, Socorro B. Inting, Commissioner. Signed, with a notation, revisit Banat ruling, Marlon S. Casquejo, Commissioner. Signed with dissenting opinion, Antonio T. Co. Jr., Commissioner.
Congratulations. May I request the representatives of the winning party list groups to please face the cameras at the back for your photo opportunity. May I request those who are taking photos using their cell phones to please lower it po muna para the media at the back can take a better and clearer photo of our representatives. Thank you. Pakiusap lang po. Pwede po natin ibaba muna yung cellphones natin para makakuha ng magandang picture ang media sa likod. Thank you. All right, thank you and congratulations again.
Okay, congratulations to all the winning party list groups. Secretariat, any other agenda?
Your Honor, there are no more other agenda for tonight, Your Honors.
Okay. Hearing none, the session is adjourned.
All right. Please all rise for the singing of the Comelec hymn to be led by the Comelec Chorale.
And then all right, the COMELEC and BOC read that very long list of party list groups that won in the election. Of course, very expected already kung sino yung mga party list groups na nandito. And of course, they did read as the 21st party list group that gets one seat, the Duterte Youth Party List group. And it was interesting to see Ronald Cardema stand as the Duterte Youth Party List Group was mentioned as one of the party list groups that won the election and will be eligible for one seat in the House of Representatives. Earlier we were saying, and Trisha Terada was reporting that there is as yet, and siguro hindi pa nasasabi sa mga media doon, there is as yet no decision yet by the Commission on Elections as to this petition of Mr. Cardema to be the substitute nominee for, well, in exchange for the all 5 nominees of the Duterte Youth Party List group that withdrew, among them his wife. But that was of note when the Duterte Youth Party List group was called. It was Mr. Cardema, Ronald Cardema, who stood up. He was until May 12 the chairman of the National Youth Commission. Sal Panelo, of course, had said that the minute he filed that application to substitute, to be the substitute nominee for the Duterte Youth, when he filed that application on May 12, a day before the elections, that he was deemed resigned as NYC commissioner. Danny Arao of Contraday is still here with us. Danny, your thoughts on what we just saw?
Well, of course, I want to say congratulations to most of the party list groups, with the exception of Duterte Youth, because as you know, we filed a petition, Contradaya and some youth groups opposing the move by Cardema to substitute himself as the first nominee. So we're very much opposed to it. And just recently, I learned that some youth organizations have filed a petition for the disqualification of the Duterte Youth Party List for reasons that it misrepresents itself and is using just the professionals to, escape the age requirement.
Okay, pero siya kasi, si Mr. Cardema ang tumayo nung tinawag yung Duterte Youth Party List Group. So, of course, ang iniisip ng lahat siya siguro na ang nominee.
Yeah, diba? and it doesn't help any that his Facebook profile right now states that he's an incoming congressman at the House of Representatives. So there's really a lot of presumptuousness and arrogance on his part. I'm sorry to say this. And he should have just waited for the COMELEC to really issue its decision, whether it's favorable or unfavorable to our petition for, opposition to the substitution of him as the first nominee. But no, he didn't wait for the COMELEC resolution, and he just, positioned himself there, telling the whole world that, hey, I am the incoming party list representative. But make no mistake about it, we have a petition opposing it, and it hasn't been decided yet by the COMELEC.
Of course, this is not the only story in tonight's proclamation of the party list groups. Among them, and let's go very quickly, very briefly through that list that was read out. ACT-CIS party list group and Bayan Muna each had 3 seats. Bayan Muna, of course, of the militant left, Carlos Zarate, hindi ba? Their first nominee. ACT-CIS, very interesting, backed by the Tulfo brothers, Erwin and Rafi, and their second nominee is the wife of Rafi, Tulfo. Then, like we said, Bayan Muna, 3 seats, Carlos Zarate, Ferdinand Gaite, and Eufemia Kulyamat. And then Ako Bicol party list group has 2 seats. Ako Bicol, of course, very prominent in the national consciousness because months ago, one of their congressmen, Rodel Batucabe, was killed in Bicol, of course. And then Sibak party list. This is the party list group that has 2 seats and is associated with Brother Eddie Villanueva. The fifth party list group is Ang Provinciano. It stands out because, of course, it is, well, hindi naman siguro named after, but it sounds very familiar. Yeah. Just like a very popular television show. And then One Pac Man, of course, Marino, Provinciano, of course, the senior citizens, Magsasaka, and then, of course, other party list groups here that, and among those that we already are familiar with, of course, Magdalo has 1 seat among others. In the meantime, we're going to take a very quick break. This is a special edition of Newsnight. We'll talk more about the party list proclamation after the break. Stay with us. Welcome back to CNN Philippines. The Commission on Elections sitting as the National Board of Canvassers proclaiming the winning party list groups. And we're going to read very briefly this very long list. ACT, CIS, and Bayan Muna each have 3 seats. The following have 2 seats each. Ako Bicol, Sibak, Ang Provinciano, One Pac Man, Marino, and Provinciano Ako. The rest have 1 seat each. Senior Citizens, Magsasaka, APEC, Gabriela, Anwaray, Coop Natco, ACT Teachers, Philreca, Ako Bisaya, Tingog, all right, I can't, wait, hold on. Tingog, Sinirangan, Abono, Buhay, and of course the Duterte Youth. It was interesting to see on our screens when the name Duterte Youth Party List Group was read out that the former National Youth Commission chairperson Ronald Gardema stood up just as that name was called out. He, of course, submitted an application for substitution to substitute for 5 nominees, among them his wife, who had earlier withdrew their certificates of nomination for the Duterte Youth Party List Group. A host of issues, of course, have been raised against that action. Of course, the COMELEC, sitting as the NBOC, proclaimed many other party list groups, among them notably Magdalo, of course, and PBA, Bagong Henerasyon, Buhay. Sorry, we read that earlier. Already. And all these other party list groups have 1 seat each. Still with us here is Danny Aral, but at the same time, I'm told that we're going to be having Trisha Terada, who is standing by live at the PICC. Trisha?
Representatives.
Yes, Pia, right now the party list winners, party list race winners are having their photo opportunities. But just to give you a quick recap of what happened, shortly after 7 p.m., the proclamation started. The program was very simple and quick. The COMELEC Unbanked just announced or proclaimed the winning bets for party lists, and the representatives or nominees stood as they were called, and it was quite notable that for the Duterte Youth, while it's still an unresolved issue of whether Cardema can take on the place of his wife as a first nominee, we saw him standing in behalf of the Duterte Youth as the party list was proclaimed. As of this time, we see him on stage having pictures with other party list winners, but to this point, no word yet as to the validity of his petition for substitution. We haven't heard from COMELEC on that yet. COMELEC promised to share with us a resolution about the case of Cardema, but before the proclamation started, there was no announcement, or at least the decision wasn't relayed to the media. In a bit, we're going to try to seek clarification from COMELEC on that, because a lot may be asking if Cardema's petition could have already been approved, or if he just appeared here. But that's one thing that's still unclear at this point. Well, for now, some of the winners have already left the PICC forum, or previously the National Canvassing Center, where now the proclamation just took place. Pia?
Well, is it possible, Trisha, that his petition had already been approved? I mean, because he was seated among the nominees and he stood up when Duterte Youth Party List Group was called.
Right, Pia, before we went on the yes, Pia, before we went on the air, we tried to speak with Comelec Director Frances Arabe, and she was telling us that a few minutes before 7, that's a few minutes before 7, there's really no decision yet about the case of Cardema. She told us that it's still unclear also as to why why Cardema appeared, but it was certain that the first nominee, who's his wife, was invited to the proclamation. Tia.
All right. Of course, Trisha, there were many other party list groups that were proclaimed, and I was reading very quickly through the list. But among these, sino pa yung mga notable, like bagong henerasyon, Magdala? Notable meaning, madalas naririnig natin yung mga nominees nila, no? Yung mga congressman na nagsasalita sa House of Representatives.
Mm-hmm. Right, but you know what's actually quite notable more than the personalities here is that the familiar names, familiar party list groups that usually garnered 2 to 3 seats now just have 1 seat. I'm referring to the ones coming from the Makabayan block specifically because usually sila naman yung nagsasalita, yung maingay, pero ngayon isa na lang yung nakuha nilang seat. And we were able to speak also to one Pacman first nominee, Mikey Romero, and he from what we understand, at least the common voices here among the party list race winners is being pegged as the president of the party list coalition. It's an organization of all the party list groups in the Congress, and we were able to ask him a few questions like pertaining to the speakership. He did confirm na may mga lumalapit na, but as to who they will pick for the speakership, no decision yet because they will decide as a body. And tomorrow they will be they already invited some what he called speakerables, or those who are candidates for the speakership, but so far only Lord Alan Velasco has confirmed confirmed to their invitation. And as to the criteria, consideration kung paano nila pipiliin, it's still also unclear, but what he said was they will base it on the agenda or the plans of the candidate for speakership. Pia.
All right, Trisha Terada, we're going to get back to you in just a bit. Like you said, you're going to try and get an explanation from Comelec, an announcement from them as to what happened to any decision that they made, that they could have made on first on Ronald Cardema's petition or application to substitute as nominee for Duterte Youth, and any decision, possible decision that they may have made on the petitions to disqualify Mr. Cardema as a nominee of the party list group, and of course other stories there at the PICC, where the Comelec has just proclaimed several party list groups as winners in the May 13 elections. In the meantime, we're going to take a very quick break. CNN Philippines Newsnight. We'll be right back. Stay with us. Welcome back to CNN Philippines. Let's go back to our discussion with our guest, Contra Daya convener Danilo Arao. All right, so like Trisha was saying, no, as of this time, like 3 minutes ago, wala talaga silang balita from the Comelec as to whether there is a decision on the petition by Mr. Cardema for him to substitute as nominee for Duterte Youth, and also any decision on the petitions to disqualify him. Yeah,
sometimes you cannot help but think maybe the Comelec is helping condition the minds of the public as regards the resolution that it will issue regarding Mr. Cardema, because so far, from what I've heard, at least on social media, it's only Commissioner Guanzon who is a little bit critical about the application for substitution by Mr. Cardema, asking relevant issues like age requirement and whether or not it really represents the youth and the professionals, when in fact it should be part of the youth sector. So I don't know. There are 7 commissioners right now, so we don't know if the other 6 would share Commissioner Guanzon's views or would be opposed to it. So based on news reports, I think we will be getting the decision of the Comelec by probably by tomorrow. So,
by tomorrow?
Yeah, we don't know. We don't know. But it has to be...
You don't know?
Yeah. Let's not comment on that.
Let's not comment. O sige, ganito na lang.
Yes.
What is your fearless forecast?
Well, there's a possibility that based on the optics right now, the irony of optics, there might be a possibility that COMELEC would rule in favor of Cardema.
Okay.
There is that possibility. Of course,
Why do you have to say there might be and possibility? Double, ano na yan
Yeah, redundancy. Well, what I'm saying here is that based on the decision of the COMELEC, usually it decides on such matters before the proclamation. And right now we have a situation where there is a there is a pending issue regarding Duterte Youth, and I think the more appropriate thing for COMELEC would be to put on hold at the very least the proclamation of Duterte Youth. In other words, there should have been a partial proclamation pending the resolution of this particular case. But right now, we're not seeing it. And the fact that he was allowed to sit there means something else, okay? So why was he allowed to sit there?
Pero yung petition na nagaling dun sa 5 nominee ng Duterte Youth Party List groups, hindi pa rin yan natanggap. Hindi pa rin na-approve yan.
Exactly.
Diba? So, pwede bang sabihin ng COMELEC na, no, we are not accepting your petition to withdraw your nomination and you, first nominee, ikaw ang uupo, ganon.
Yeah, yes.
Pero
That's
unlikely
also a
kasi si
possibility.
Mr. Cardema na si Ronald Cardema na ang nakatayo.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. So sometimes you would wonder why was he allowed to sit there when in fact he's not yet listed as a nominee. And of course, it doesn't help any, again, that in his Facebook profile, he says that he is an incoming congressman of the House of Representatives. Maybe he knows something that both of I can only speculate on. So, you know what I mean.
No, I don't.
Yeah, okay.
Anyway, okay. Well, let's talk about the party list law and the system in general. Of course, when it was first created, it was meant for quote-unquote marginalized sectors. By 2013, there was a Supreme Court ruling, or decision, that sort of expanded ba the definition? Tama ba? Hindi ko alam kung tama yung...
Inclusive, it diluted. Maybe the proper
diluted,
word.
okay.
It diluted, marginalized.
Right. And every now and then we hear people saying that, you know, we need to do something about this party list system. Let's amend it. Let's remove it. Let's take it apart, etc. But it may require an act by Congress itself, by the Senate and the House of Representatives. But if you were going to go that way, and you have, how many, 61 party list representatives seated in the House of Representatives, what are we looking at?
Yeah, yes, you're correct. For Contra Daya, our view is that there should be an amendment of the party list law. And the good thing is that the Makabayan Bloc in the 17th Congress tried to do that. But of course, the 17th Congress is about to end, and it's really a bit not clear whether or not it will pass. So among others, the amendment that's being proposed would be to disallow members of political clans or political dynasties from becoming nominees, as well as incumbent government officials. They should not be allowed to do so. So of course, it's just a small amendment, but it could mean a lot insofar as the hijacking of the rich and powerful of the party list system would be concerned. But again, as you correctly noted, in a situation where majority of members of the House of Representatives, not just party lists, but also district reps, would be part of the political clans and part of the rich and powerful, sometimes you wonder if they would actually pass such a law. So the other venue would be the Supreme Court. We discussed a while ago the Atong Paglaom case in 2013. I think it is about time that we question this particular ruling again and, you know, send a strong message to the Supreme Court that because of this particular decision 6 years ago, this is what happened to the party list system. And to be fair, the authors of the party list law, namely Dr. Michael Mastura and even Representative Edsel Lagman, who was one of the authors also, they said that this was not the idea behind the party list system.
Yeah, well, Edsel had a very strong word to describe it. He said, and we quote, it's been bastardized.
Exactly, yes. So no offense to the bastards out there, but that's the point about the party list system we have right now. And again, if we look at the irony of optics, what we've seen in the footage provided by your CNN crew there, are they really part of the marginalized and underrepresented? We can only count a few people there who have been, championing the cause of workers, teachers, the youth, and all that. But all of them, I have to identify, even at the risk of being sued for libel, Mikey Romero is a billionaire. He is the richest member of the House of Representatives, and here he is coming in, again, as a party list representative, supposedly championing the marginalized and underrepresented, but he's not marginalized by whatever stretch of the imagination.
But perhaps could it be precisely because the Supreme Court had expanded that definition, then therefore it can, all these party list groups can fall under the heading of party list.
To be blunt about it, it's perfectly legal. But it's not perfectly right.
Okay. Well, about 5 minutes ago, we just got word from Trisha Terada. She's quoting James Jimenez, the spokesman of the Commission on Elections, and he said, commenting on the attendance of Ronald Cardema at today's proclamation, he said, quote, maybe he knows something, that's why he's here, unquote. Well, we're trying to get James Jimenez on the line, or any, well, if we're lucky, Chairman Sharif Abbas or any of the commissioners to tell us what their decision is finally on this issue. But in the meantime, let's talk about, since we're talking about all these party list groups, yung mga sinong naproklama, let's talk about those who were shut out. And speaking of shut out kasi, di ba, everybody remembers Ocho Diretso na shut out. And may isa ding na shut out dito sa party list elections naman, Akbayan.
Yes. I thought you were referring to a social party list.
Well, sige, mamaya yun. Pero siyempre yung Akbayan, a lot of people saying, ano nangyari, hindi ba?
Yes.
Associated kasi with what?
Associated perhaps with the so-called Dilawans because it had an alliance with the Liberal Party during the time of President Aquino. But of course, the Akbayan people are also shouting fraud, which is quite understandable. We have to understand where they're coming from, given that for Contradaya, this was the worst automated election ever. So even if you look at certain trends in the surveys, particularly the one by Pulse Asia from May 3 to 6, so more or less you can see some accuracy there, but there are a few imperfections along the way, especially with regard to the tightly contested races, that elusive one seat.
Pero fraud ba o glitches, or like, for example, Goyla Rizabal on, was it the night of the elections, or the night after the elections, he was saying, diba, you were also a guest here, na mukhang project management issues yung problema. Glitches, and then, but hindi naman technology yung problema.
Exactly.
Diba? So it's not like there was actual fraud, right? Because, look, come on. If you win, if you lose, dinaya ako. If you win, okay lang. Hindi ba? I mean, kung nanalo ka, sasabihin mo ba, nagkadayaan? Hindi, di ba? Tatanggapin mo yung victory, hindi ba?
Well, but let's look at those things separately. The glitch, the 7-hour glitch, maybe you can attribute that to systemic incompetence or technological incompetence on the part of the COMELEC and Smartmatic. But with regard to the VCMs breaking down or even being burned literally, so sometimes you cannot help but raise red flags regarding the incidents of fraud. And of course, we have
But we had IT experts that night, no? And they were saying, for example, kung bakit magbe-breakdown halimbawa ang VCM. If a machine, any machine, it's a machine, no? Any machine that is unused for several years and not, parang kotse yan eh. Hindi mo gamitin for 1 year, syempre magbe-breakdown yan. Hindi ba? So it's not like it was on purpose, parang intentional. Meron lang pagkukulang. Doon nga sa project management. Project management meaning yung proyekto, yung eleksyon. Part of managing the entire project, it's like an event kasi is make sure na okay yung mga makina mo, yung VCM mo. Which means may maintenance yan, kailangan gamitin, kailangan i-testing, parang ganon.
That's one aspect. But how do we explain, for example, the corrupted SD cards? They're relatively new because they're provided by another, not Smartmatic, but another provider. But therein lies the problem, Pia. It's a combination or a confluence of things, but we cannot take fraud out of the equation because fraud has happened online and offline. When we say offline, we talk about vote buying, harassment, intimidation, red baiting, and all that. So I guess that would partly explain why we understand if people are so frustrated that they want to go back to manual again.
No, let's not.
But you can understand why they would want to go back there because of the collective frustration over the automated system.
But that would be even more fraud prone. I mean, come on, you know. Diba? I mean, we've all seen.
Yes, but the fundamental issue here, Pia, is that for as long as the rich and powerful control the political system and the election system, whether it's manual, automated, or a combination thereof, like a hybrid election system, we're still prone to fraud.
Okay, and of course that is subject for another special edition of Newsnight. Maraming salamat, Danny Araw of Contra Daya. Thank you for being with us tonight. And that is it for tonight. Thank you for your time. I'm Pia Ontiveros for Newsnight, where we go above and beyond the headlines.
The story is making headlines. 51 party list groups have secured seats at the House of Representatives, among them the Duterte Youth with a controversial nominee. The nation welcomes new senators, 10 allied with the administration and 2 other re-electionists. Good evening, I'm Ruth Cabal. Welcome to the newsroom. The Commission on Elections has proclaimed the winning party list groups a week after the midterm elections. Our Chrissy Di Matulak joins us live at the PICC in Pasay City. Chrissy, tell us more about this.
Ruth, the remaining members of the incoming 18th Congress have finally been proclaimed this morning with 12 senators and 51 representatives from winning party list groups. The senators, 4 newcomers, some re-electionists, and a few returning lawmakers have been proclaimed this morning. At 7 this evening, the Commission on Elections proclaimed the party list groups. The top 10 are ACT, CIS, and Bayan Muna with 3 seats each, 2 seats each for Ako Bicol, Sibak, Ang Provinciano, 1 Pacman, Marino, and Provinciano. Senior citizens and magsasaka have 1 seat each. COMELEC spokesperson James Jimenez says voter turnout is 75.90% or 46,937,139 voters. Controversial former National Youth Commission Chair Ronald Cardema of Duterte Youth Party List was among the representatives who stood as COMELEC announced 2 winning groups. Ruth?
Chrissy Di Matulak there reporting. The COMELEC has accepted the petition of controversial former National Youth Commission Chair Ronald Cardema. He will replace his wife as the Duterte Youth Party List's first nominee. Our Trisha Terada has the story. Trisha, can you tell us what happened and what's the COMELEC's reason for their decision?
Well, you know, Ruth, actually everybody or a lot of people were caught by surprise when Mr. Cardema or Mr. Ronald Cardema, former National Youth Commissioner, appeared at the PICC where the proclamation for the party list took place. When he entered the room, we tried to get his statement as to why he was there, but he evaded the media as we tried to approach him. So there were really a lot of people asking, has the petition been accepted? Later on, we got a confirmation from COMELEC Chairman Sharif Abbas himself that yes, COMELEC on Bank has already accepted the petition of Cardema for substitution as the first nominee of Duterte Youth. The explanation of Abbas was he met the deadline. Here's a statement from Chairman Abbas.
Parang favorable sa kanya.
So kaya nandyan siya sa... So sir, ibig sabihin, his petition was allowed?
Yes, it is allowed.
So he can be the first nominee. On what ground, sir? Bakit napayagan?
Nakahabol naman siya kasi ang issue lang doon is kung whether or not nakahabol yung substitution niya. And under the rules, before election, nakapaghain nga sila.
So sir, ibig sabihin, hindi November 27 to 29 yung deadline sa kanila. It's a day
Hindi
before.
naman. It's before election. Ang substitution ng party list.
Sir, okay. Yung second issue, sir, kasi diba kino-contest yung age niya.
Walang kwan yun. Hindi namin na-discuss yun because part yan ng eligibility niya. So pwede siyang filean pa rin like maybe kuwaranto ng sinong interesado kasi more on eligibility.
Yes, Ruth, as we heard Chairman Abbas, that's his confirmation that Cardema can be the first nominee of Duterte Youth despite the different issues hounding his petition. But Ruth, is also good to note that the official resolution on paper has not yet been released by the COMELEC, but that's just the confirmation of Chairman Abbas himself. There was no dissent. There was just one one who voted for abstain. That's made by Commissioner Louis Tugia. And then aside from that, again, just repeat what Chairman Abbas said. The problem or the issue on his age, the question of eligibility may be dealt with the age. So far as COMELEC is concerned, the petition of Cardema is valid. Ruth?
Trisha, balikan lang natin yung issue, especially dito sa age. Ano yung naging issue dito? Kasi parang there's an age requirement for if you're gonna be a representative of the youth sector. So, ano nga ulit ito, Trisha?
Yes, Ruth, based on eligibility, if you are applying or if you're a party list applying for or planning to represent the youth sector, you should not be beyond 30 years old. Well, COMELEC agrees to this. Tama naman daw yun. The thing is, this is not under the jurisdiction of COMELEC. That's what Chairman Abbas was explaining. Yung question of eligibility is not under them. Yung kanila is just whether or not pumasok yung petition niya under the time frame for substitution. Now, this problem with his age and eligibility can be addressed by the HRED or it can be done through a co-warranto.
Yes, kasi Trisha, si Cardema is 33 years old, no? Tama?
Yes.
And when you say HRED, so there has to be a formal protest that should be filed with the Electoral Tribunal.
Correct, you. That's what Chairman Abbas has been explaining. It's already beyond their jurisdiction. But there's something that's also we have to clarify because again, Chairman Abbas has repeatedly said that it can be done through the issue can be addressed through the HRED or through a co-warranto petition, which again, as like what you said, can be addressed through a formal petition.
Trisha Terada reporting. This morning, poll officials proclaimed the 12 new senators for the 18th Congress. It was a tight finish for the last lot. That completes the so-called Magic 12. Our Trisha Terada is back with this report.
The Commission on Elections, sitting unbanked as the National Board of Canvassers, hereby declared the following candidates as duly elected senators of the Republic of the Philippines.
After a number of postponements, winning senatorial candidates finally have their big day. A little over a week, COMELEC has finally proclaimed 12 senators elect. Administration allies dominated the list. Senator Cynthia Villar taking the lead, garnering with over 25 million votes. Independent candidate Grace Poe slides to second. Ex-presidential aide Bongo is third. Joining them are Pia Cayetano, Bato de la Rosa, Sonny Angara, Lito Lapid, Amy Marcos, Francis Tolentino, Coco Pimentel, Bong Revilla, and Nancy Binay. It was a tight finish for the last slot, as the National Board of Canvassers had to wait for the final certificates of canvass from Saudi Arabia and the U.S. that account for up to 500,000 votes.
Ang info sa akin, nung tinifeed yung LA, nasira yung SD card. So, during that feeding, parang inintay pa na inayos pa. So, yun, pinadala namin sila ng SD card. Fortunately, naging maayos yung pagka-canvas noon sa LA. Kasi bago mo siya kukunin, ang LA pupunta sa LA and then yung LA pupunta ng embassy sa Washington. It takes at least 5 hours bago siya pupunta doon sa Washington.
Re-elected Senator Nancy Binay admits it was a tension-packed wait.
Parang fourth time to give birth. Kasi nga yung waiting na alam mo naman na may lalabas na maganda, pero hindi mo alam kung kailan siya lalabas.
Meanwhile, the Commission on Elections faces even bigger troubles in this midterm elections. Among them, defective cards and vote counting machines, bleeding marking pens, plus delays in the transmission of election data.
Walang dayaan. Kung meron mang glitches, which is natural, meron at meron yan. Hinihingian namin ng paumanhin sa mga tao kung halimbawa merong mang naantala, kasi talagang normal yun.
COMELEC assures the public it will hold suppliers accountable if they are found lacking. COMELEC Chairman Sharif Abbas says they're ready to face a Senate investigation on the glitches.
We stand for the credibility of the elections. Makikita nyo naman yan. Mafe-feel ng tao at makikita nila kung talagang may dayaan o wala.
Dapat talaga bantayan na yon dahil parang mas marami talagang insidente nung mga malfunctioning PCOS machines, no? I think marahil dahil sa wear and tear, something we have to look into, no? Going forward for the next election.
Even before the proclamation fully comes to a close, COMELEC faces issues hounding the party list system.
It doesn't represent yung mga marginal sector. Ang sumali dyan, mga bilyonaryo na, kaya na-out yung mga marginalized. Ganun yung mga issues. Okay? But as far as COMELEC is concerned, ang aming concern dyan is more on the registration, accreditation, and then yung pagpaproclaim ng party list.
Yung Korte Suprema ang nagsasabi talaga, at least, especially in the recent history of the party list law, nagkakabali-baliktad din naman yung mga decisions dyan. In some years, sinasabi kailangan talagang may cause. Yung iba naman sinasabi kailangan talaga marginalized. But the latest pronouncement of the Supreme Court is what controls.
Meantime, COMELEC says the elections was generally successful with a voter turnout of 75.9% or 46.9 million.
Trisha Tarada, CNN Philippines.
Re-elected Senator Nancy Binay takes the last slot for the new senators proclaimed this morning. Binay and Senator Grace Poe made rounds online earlier in a photo of the winners after the proclamation. The administration bets gestured President Rodrigo Duterte's signature fist bump sign, but Binay and Poe did not. Speaking to CNN Philippines, Binay says she didn't make the fist bump because she did not belong to the administration party.
Not part of PDP Laban, nor am I part of Hugpong. So, parang why would I make the
Why would you
sign
do
of
that?
the party that I don't belong to? They are part of the party of the president.
Yes.
And it's just common for them to do the fist bump side. But, you know, I'm hoping that yung magiging stand naman nila in the Senate would be, at the end of the day, what will be good for the people and not because it will be good for one person.
Senatorial candidates who did not make it to the Magic 12 remain thankful and optimistic. In a series of tweets, outgoing Senator J.V. Ejercito, who ranked 13th in the final tally, said it was an honor to serve Filipinos as a senator. He said he will walk away from the Senate with my integrity intact. He also asked supporters not to be sad, saying, quote, "Andito lang po ang good one. Patuloy na nagmamahal sa inyong lahat." The good one is a reference to his commercial ad, which observers say was directed at his half-brother Jinggoy Estrada. After failing in his re-election bid, opposition Senator Bam Aquino says he will continue to help the public in other ways. He also thanks the people he worked with for the past 6 years and those who helped in his campaign. Erin Tañada is hopeful the new senators will focus on the needs of the public. Tañada, who is also the vice president of the Liberal Party, says they will continue to fight in 2022.
We will not crumble. As a matter of fact, we faced the dictatorship in the 1970s and 80s. The Liberal Party did not crumble. So we will continue. Kailangan rin pag-isipan. I think this is important. If LP will coalesce also with another political party for the 2020.
Who's possible right now to coalesce with?
Hindi ko nga alam.
Former Senator Mar Rojas, in a statement, says the result was disappointing and sad. He went on to say he's uncertain for what comes next, but urges the public to learn and work some more. He adds, quote, "The country continues to need us and our best efforts." That's the newsroom tonight. Thanks for watching. I'm Ruth Cabal. Good evening.